What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? Let me know in the chat if you all can hear me. All right, awesome. Well, I'm back and I have an announcement. My loves and fellow creatives, let me know in the chat if you all can hear. Forgot I have this also on auto replay for YouTube. I am happy to announce that we've officially hit 200 products in the Automizer. So that's a big deal. We're going to celebrate later. Right now, what I want to do is kind of go over the concept. We'll do a flip together, prepare the images together, almost do an entire project together, if you will. My goal is to show you from top to bottom how I would flip this, whether it be a template or an entire project. And hopefully get to answer some of your questions for those who are experienced in Automizer, and those who don't know anything about it whatsoever. That's okay too. You can ask questions primarily in the Zoom room, answering questions. However, if you just happen to be on YouTube and I just happen to glance over there, I will make sure that I check on that as well. All right, but you all should have the Zoom link. And if you're in Craft to Quit, or you're in Gold membership and you have access to the live Photoshop class for tonight, you can go ahead and go to that link and it'll bring you here as well, because you already have access to live class for tonight. So then that way you'll be in the Zoom room and you don't have to be on the YouTube side. All right, Jennifer, I see you over on the YouTube side. You can come over into the Zoom room. I know you're Craft to Quit. All right, let me get some of this stuff off my screen so we can get started. And I'm going to use you all to help me come up with this project, colors, theme, etc., so that you all know we're doing this in real time, real deal. And I'm not just making stuff up. I literally do this for my clients. I do this in order to help you with your clients. And this is very practical. All right, so what I want to do is, first of all, I want to go ahead and change the subject here. You all can help me come up with, in the chat, if you're in the Zoom room, I want you to help me come up with the ideas, and I'll pick from what you all say inside of the Zoom room. All right, and does anybody want to volunteer? Because this is not customer happiness time. This is just some bonus material I thought I would do, since I am preparing you all to enter the world of the Automizer. So anybody that wants to be co-host, that's Craft to Quit, let me know in the chat, and I can make you co-host. That way you can let people into the Zoom room and I won't be ignoring anybody. Matter of fact, I'll turn on this sound for right now. I know it's annoying, but whenever they hear the sound, at least. All right, so like I said, the first thing that I want to do is I want to show you all how we're coming up with concepts, ideas as well. So we need to make up a new model. And I want to do that. Let me go ahead and pull up our Automizer so that we know what we're working with here. Pulling it up on the screen right now. So it's going to go through Photoshop, but a lot of the prep work is AI. A lot of the prep work is cleaning up your images, preparing things, having your colorway, understanding what text you want. And when you get stuck in those ways, let me know as we're going along and designing. Tell me if this is where you typically get stuck, because I can show you a million different ways to do the same thing, and the systems that I use in order to do those parts when I get stuck. For instance, I will tell you this: designing, for instance, these programs. And I do have, I'm going to show you all some of them. We have the gatefold. I decided to add that one because I wanted to do a really, really nice bonus inside of this Automizer, because the memorial products typically do call for program design, and program design is not really what Photoshop is really intended for. However, I wanted to set up a really catch-all template set for a bifold, which is like a book, trifold, which is mostly what you see for a pamphlet. And then I also did this gatefold product, which this gatefold product is becoming more popular with the memorial programs. And not that, excuse me, not that you have to put like the heavenly gates on there, but they do really well with that design because it does open up. So I thought I would show that for you all today. Now, I'm going to also open up, this is the editable and printable side of it. So you'll be able to change out these elements as well. Oh, look, customer happiness jumped on anyway. Hannah, how did you know I was sneaking on here doing a bonus class? Thank you, Customer Happiness, for saving the day. You're always amazing. Yeah, I was doing this one willy-nilly without Customer Happiness. I just decided on a whim to do this so that I can have y'all's input, make sure everything runs smoothly, show off some new things that I've been developing inside of this product, and let y'all know I had not forgotten about you. I promise I'll be thinking about y'all all day, all night. All right. Oh, Hannah, check the YouTube. Thank you, Hannah. I appreciate it. All right, so what I want to do here is I want to show you sometimes you use Photoshop, sometimes you can use AI or a combination of those skills. So, and now that I have Customer Happiness, I'm going to turn this little noise off. There we go. Oh, there we go. All right, so just showing you some of the products that are in there. We'll go through some of them as well. And what we'll do together is we will pick the products that we think are relevant for Memorial, like all of them, and put them in a certain order so that we know which products you all are using for Memorial. And maybe even some of them will surprise me because I won't be expecting them. I know that you all asked me to do the dog shirts for Memorial, and that was something that really surprised me. So I did add that. You all asked about a prayer card, that's in there. And for the programs, instead of just the typical bifold program, I also, like I told you all, I did a gatefold and a trifold, and I did different sizes. So if you all can imagine, all of these are different templates and different mock-ups. You have the inside and outside of an 8.5 by 14, 8.5 by 11, and a 11 by 17. Those are 3 different sizes and 3 different fold styles. So you have the bifold, which is folded in half. They also call that a half fold. Trifold, which is the brochure fold, and then the gatefold. So that's 9 different layouts right there, just because it's 3 sizes, 3 different folds. And that was a lot of fun adapting everything for each of those sizes, because it's not just copy and paste. You do have to change your ratios, change your measurements, and that sort of thing. And the fact that I've already done it for you means that you don't have to do it. All right, so before I get going and pressing on to that, I want to show you, because I know typically we're designing everything inside of Photoshop and Automizer, but I want to show you some shortcuts as well, as long as you have your elements. So I'm going to go on here. So for instance, we already have our accent 0 and our accent 1 and 2. And as a matter of fact, I changed my accent 1 to have the monogram in it because I thought it made like a cool logo for this design. And what I want to do now is I want to show you how I can still update this with the colors and the elements. I'm going to keep the text the same there. For the most part, we're going to go to the 355 template and just go ahead and design that out. Give me a second, I'll pull that up. And how many of you already like flipped the 355 template into a design? Like, even if it's not Memorial, let me know if you already flipped it. Now, craft to quit, y'all shouldn't be shy right now. Because that's where we're gonna start. We're gonna start with one t-shirt design, flipping out those elements. And then we'll propagate that to the products that we're gonna do for tonight. All right, and first things first, before I get to editing anything, I'm gonna do a save as. All right, and this is what I need your help with in the chat. You all give me my primary, secondary color. So what colorway do you want to see? Right now, the colorway is this deep purple. And then this kind of peachy, pinky color as well. So those are my 2 colors. So I want your help coming up with a new, ooh, I love blue and gold. Blue and yellow work too. That's about the same. Okay, so let's do blue and gold then. And then for the blue, what kind of blue do you want? Like a navy blue? Ooh, the emerald. Oh, you know I love me some emerald. Mo. Okay. And I even like the idea of like some deep colors together, like navy and emerald and like an eggplant purple, like those kind of deep jewel tones are really pretty too. All right, so let's vote right now. And I need y'all to give me two colors. So I got blue and gold right now, or blue and yellow, and then I got emerald and gold. I need y'all to vote in the chat on those one of those two sets, and then we'll flip it out. All right, so far 1, 2, 3 emeralds, 4 emeralds. All right, all right. 5 emerald. Okay, we're going emerald then. Look, I didn't even know we were doing emerald today. That's where we're going. All right, so let's first of all grab what we want our color to. And what's funny is I was just doing a project for a client and I did emerald and gold. So I think that's why it was exciting in my mind. Let me sign back into my AI here. And like I said, I do this in real life. So I promise y'all what I'm telling y'all works. Yeah, so let's do emerald and gold then. Cool, cool. And it'll be a drastic flip from the purple too. I think you'll get a good idea there. Now, what happens with the emerald and gold is we're going to have to decide what our design is going to be for our floral. So we'll come to that in just a moment. All right, so now I'm going to do a file save as. So I'll do this one emerald and gold. And I wish it was just that easy that I could change the file name and then everything would just change. Maybe eventually that's where this process will take us. But in the meantime, I do have some shortcuts, but it's not that short of a cut. All right, so what I do want to do is go ahead and start with our color 1 and color 2. So what I like to do for my color 1 and color 2, gold being the accent, I don't want to make that my color 2. I want to keep that my accent color. That's just how I feel about golds and silvers. So I'll keep that as my accent, like around my text and some of the foliage here. But I want to figure out, what do I want my actual greens to be? Okay, so in this case, I'm going to go ahead and find my little magic asset folder that comes with my 355 template. And now that I have emerald and gold as my file name, see, it automatically makes the emerald and gold assets folder. And I'm going to start with my most basic kind of element here, which is this wreath. And this is where we're going to have AI meet our Photoshop magic. Where did my folder go? There it is. I'm just going to drag and drop this image here into, this is my Higgs field. And customer happiness, if you don't mind dropping the link for the Higgs field. If you don't have it, it's just one of those tools that's really great to be able to do Photoshop not Photoshop. Well, we edit everything in Photoshop, but this is really what you want to be able to use to do like Nano Banana, your video editing, even some of the templates for the videos, motion graphics, that sort of thing are built into Higsville. What we primarily use it for right now is just to do our image editing and image creation, right? And right now I'm focused more on ChatGPT Image 2 and Google Nano Banana Pro. Those are the two models I use the most. There are several different image models and several different video models inside of Higsville, but that's what we're focused more on when we do our weekly classes. All right, so what I want to do with this is I want to use this as a base image, but I want to change this to the colorway that I want, and potentially even change the flowers and things of that nature. So what I want to do first is I'm going to come over to my handy dandy letting somebody in the room there. Here, I'll just type it out regular first, and then I'll show you how I clean up my prompts in just a little bit. All right, so what I want to do is I want to use image 1 for reference of the floral wreath. I want to tell it to use a deep emerald and a mid-tone emerald colorway with gold accents. And in this case, I do have a few different flowers that are in here. But I want to try to change it up. I want to change it up a little bit. I want to, let's say, and this is where I do use ChatGPT a little bit more and use our custom GPT here. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Let me let it load up a little bit here. There we go. Saying the internet connection is unstable now. I think it's Zoom. I don't have these problems until I get on Zoom. Thank you for blessing me, Jennifer. I appreciate that. All right. I'm gonna go to little custom GPT, my GPTs here. And this is a GPT that I made for you all. We've been using it quite a bit. Yeah, I can tell this internet is definitely slowing down. Thanks, Zoom. All right, let's use this digital art prompt pro. I'm going to close down some of these tabs, see if I can work this out. I don't know why all of a sudden it just started slowing down. If you want to join the Zoom room, and right now, if you're on the YouTube side and you want to join the Zoom room, you can go to our Instagram or Facebook, and on the latest post, type the word "show me," and I guess I can show you better than I can tell you. Hopefully, if this internet loads up. All right, so this is our Facebook page, and I'll drop that on the YouTube side. Go there to the Facebook page, go to the latest post, and just drop any of the latest posts and drop the word show me. Okay, and if you put, I believe it's show me, yep, if you put show me, it'll send you the Zoom link. All right, and only those inside of the Zoom room will get, if you want to invest in the Automizer today, you'll have a special code. And the code is for 50% off if you're inside of the Zoom. All right. I work in Canva sometimes too, but for the most part, I work in Photoshop so that I can do automations and systems like I'm doing right now. All right, so here I will pin that so I don't get distracted. All right, so now I'm going to show you how I use both the text AI and the visuals of AI in order to come up with ideas for my project and make them better. So I'll show you how to do all of the above. Let's say I'm going to go ahead and drop in this image like this wreath. And if you miss class, not only, we had so many different classes where we were working on this entire project, but I did show you how to create those type of images in AI. I also showed you how to break down each of those elements and rebuild. This is actually a high resolution wreath that we rebuilt using the elements that we created in AI. And now I'm going to show you how to go in AI and say, hey, using this as an idea, go ahead and change these properties for me, okay? So, I'm going to talk to the AI rather than talk, so that's what you'll hear. Hey, I'm working on a new project, and my color theme for this project is a deep, rich emerald green and a mid-tone, jewel tone emerald as well. And I still want to keep the gold accents, but I want to take the concept of this wreath and flowers, and I want to apply it to my new project. However, I need you to give me some ideas for different flower concepts. So give me 4 different ideas using this same wreath and changing up the flowers, but using my new colorway. Now, what the Digital Art Prompt Pro is a tool that helps us to actually come up with prompts that do help us create the images that we want. Okay, so it's giving me some ideas of an emerald rose with a calla lily. Okay, and the calla lily is really what catches my attention for this whole design. So I want to do something a little different just to show you that it can be different, but you can still use AI to help you with those concepts. Emerald peony and ranunculus. And I learned ranunculus about 3 years ago. Proud of that. Orchid and ethereum, and we already have these 2 in there. Well, dahlia and magnolia botanical wreath sounds pretty. Okay, so you all tell me in the chat, which one do you all want to see? 1, 2, 3, or 4? I know calla lilies are so gorgeous. They're my granny's favorite too. So far, I got I got a vote for 1 and a vote for 4. Then I got 1 for 3. 2 for 1. 2 for 3. All right, we got tiebreaker for 1 and 3 right now. This is kind of fun. I like y'all interacting. Nikki, I was about to give you the tiebreaker. So you rather go with 3? So then 3 wins then. What is 3? Okay. Ooh, luxury fashion event, upscale birthday, modern wedding, or VIP celebration. Interesting. All right, so let's use this right here. Use cascading emerald, orchids. Anthuriums, dark trop. Oh, I like the tropical leaves. Okay. All right. So let's take that one. We're going to go with number 3. However, I need you to write a prompt for me, exactly what I would copy and paste in order to put in for Google Nano Banana Pro or ChatGPT Image 2. I'm going to include the source image of the wreath that I already have, and I want you to give me the exact prompt that I can copy and paste to get the great luxury result that we're talking about for option number 3. You know what? Getting familiar with your flowers, Mo, that is actually something you can get addicted to as well, because it's just another level of design. I've actually taken a few classes with floral design, and it opened my eyes up to like what the names of the flowers are and how they work together, how even to care for them and use them as live centerpieces and things, ones that need water and foam versus other ones that can be used dry. So it's a whole nother craft, a whole nother level of your craft, but I think you would love it because you like to decorate and you like to do the decorated food and treats and all of those things too. So that would be right up your alley, I'm sure. Okay, let's see. All right, let's go with this prompt right here. Let it flow, let it go, and see where it takes us. Right now, I'm using Google Nano Banana Pro, and I'm doing a 1:1 ratio just because usually when I make my clip art, that is what I do. Oh, also, let me tell it, let's make a more concise prompt, but also make sure that at the end of the prompt that we put that we want it isolated on a white background, as if this is for stock art. And for this one, instead of the photorealistic flowers, I want to go with watercolor illustration as my style. And this is just me talking to the AI. This isn't even creating images yet. So I want y'all to understand both sides of how to use these tools to your advantage. You can use it to explain how you want the prompts to go. You can use it to clarify what you think you want, because sometimes we don't know what we want and we get to talking and it makes it sound a lot cleaner than what it sounded like in our head. And then other times we just need to straight up develop some images. All right, so I'm going to copy that prompt there. All right, let's go ahead and generate one here. And then I'm going to generate a couple with the Nano Banana Pro. Now the GPT Image 2 uses up more credits. As you can see, it uses 7 credits instead of 2. And it does take quite a bit longer for it to work. And I did tell it to use it as a composition reference, and it doesn't seem like this one really used it as a composition reference. It sort of did, which I think this is gorgeous. I like this, but I think it could have done better with adhering to the wreath design here. All right, and meanwhile, while it's doing this as well, I want you to imagine, I know we're flipping this design template for a memorial design, but this could be a wedding, it could be a birthday, it could be the other extreme of celebrating life, like a child's birth or 50th birthday. It doesn't have to be memorial, but in this context, I'm just showing you how to transform it as if it were a memorial project, because we're talking about those products specifically. But just keep in mind, there are over 200 products in here, and you all will be able to use this for almost any project you can imagine. Now see how the Nano Banana Pro has already, oh, I like this watercolor design. And it is kind of odd seeing the plants and the flowers in green now that I look at that, but it's still very pretty, and I like how it has the gold accents as well. And this is my dad's favorite color in the whole wide world. I remember everything that we had, furniture and books and everything was just this deep emerald green. He called it hunter green. Everything was dark green. And I despised that color, y'all, for a long time until my little Emma came along as my niece, y'all. And then she just happens to like dark green. So then it made me like it all over again. And then getting into events and things of that nature, this color is often used as like a very regal, luxury, velvety, lush type of color as well. All right, I'm waiting for ChatGPT to give me something I can show y'all. I would like to show it off, ChatGPT, if you're willing to play along. But this Nano Banana did really well over here too. So this is what I was gonna say. So ChatGPT, look how it followed the style of my wreath more. Do y'all see that? It actually listened to what I provided, changed out the flowers, and still gave me the same form that I was looking for. That is what I was looking for. So although it is using more credits, taking a little bit longer, I believe it's just listening to the prompt a bit better. That is, and then the proof is in the pudding, because almost each and every one of these has the wreath. Remember, I did like an asymmetric where it's a little higher on one side than the other. Boom, there it is. Okay, so far, I believe I'm liking this one the best. And if I truly like it, I can upscale it. So I come over here to my tools, upscale. And this one, because we're just doing this for immediately for class, I'll upscale it by 2 just to show you that that does make it better quality. Right, and then once I have my styling, once I have the actual base of this, then I can create some of my other elements as well. All right, so let me go back to my elements here. And this is where you can kind of get away with, remember how we built every last piece of these accents, flower by flower, leaf by leaf, little accent by accent, right? Remember that we built this up? Well, what I'm showing you now is that there are ways to take the AI, modify the design, and get the idea that you want here. So let's say for the left cluster, for this one, I'm going to put my little small, I call that my cluster there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reference the original image instead of the upscale one, because sometimes it does not like your upscale image. Okay, so here I'm going to make sure that I redo my prompt a little bit because I told it I wanted this asymmetric wreath. All right, I got a good output that did redo the wreath in a way that I liked it. So I'm going to include that as a reference image now. And I want to create some of my other accents and recreate those accents using this new design and style. So I want to include both images. Now I need you to write a prompt that includes both of those images and creates just the cluster or just the individual element that I'm asking it to create at that time. And for that, I'm going to download this one and then just drop my little cluster over there. And so far, we're more playing with our AI at the moment than anything else, but this lets you see how much trouble we can get into when we want to. All right, and what I'm doing here is I'm just having it help me clean up my prompts. Otherwise, sometimes I'm talking to the AI, giving it my prompts, and I'm not getting the feedback that I really want in terms of it following the images I wanted to create. So I use AI to help me talk to AI. Oh, I know y'all are in for some good trouble. That's why I started this class earlier than our 8 o'clock Photoshop class, because I wanted us to be able to get into some, and I would say this is kind of like a capstone. We've been working on this memorial project for, I think, about 5 weeks now. So doing everything from the AI Create-a-thon to creating our models, to creating our individual pieces of our image, to the whole design, doing mock-ups, doing collection images, so forth. So now we're just putting it all together. All right, here's a copy and paste. This is the prompt just for the cluster. And then it's also doing a prompt for a single element, but I'm going to do the prompt for the cluster right now. All right, so it says image 1 is the subject and composition reference, which that's going to be this one. Use it to understand the floral accent or cluster I want to recreate. Image 2 is a style reference. Use it to match the new luxury design direction, including the watercolor illustration style, deep emerald green and jewel tone emerald palette, tropical botanical feel, and metallic gold accents. I'm not reading the rest. I'm just going to go ahead and create. And with the ChatGPT image 2, I usually don't generate but one image at a time, because as you can see, sometimes even when it's generating 2 images at a time, they're just very, very closely related. And I'd rather see if it's going to give me what I want and then use up another credit. Now, when I'm going live, sometimes I'll do 2 at a time, just because I need to be able to show you all options. And I know it's going to take a long time for it to generate the images there. Now, although this isn't like my image, I do like this one. I like how I even added like a little bit of purple in there. But like I said, I want the one that's listening to me right now so that I can stay on track. Now, typically what I would do, every last one of these flowers, I would change out in Photoshop. I would change the colors of, I would change the composition. Let's say I was replacing the calla lilies with a different flower. I would do all of that by hand. And y'all know I've done that because I've shown y'all that time and time again. But what I want to show you is also a way that we can change these out. All right, so remember, I'm just reminding y'all how we built all of this up. I'm talking about piece by piece by piece, and all of these are AI images. And I don't know if Customer Happiness or one of our Crafts Equip members can recall what class numbers we did this, but we did several AI classes and several Photoshop classes up until this point that built out this entire concept and design. All right, so I just wanted to show you how serious that was. All right, and then also what I'm going to do is, just for right now, while I'm working, remember I told you all this is a magic template file. So I want for you to go to Automate Generator Plugins and turn off the image assets, turn that check mark off until you're done designing, and then turn it back on, and it will propagate all your little pieces. Now let's go and check on our AI, make sure it's doing what we need it to do. It's still taking its little sweet time over here. I'm going to bring it over to my other window just to let it cook. And let's see if there are any other important elements that we need to design and replace here. I use these vertical corner accents in the brochures and the booklets and that sort of thing. So I will go ahead and do that one as well. So let's get that prompt ready. And I have a left and I have a right piece for this. There we go. Please create a prompt for separately each of these corner vertical decorations using the same idea as before. I want to make sure that there is a prompt just for the left vertical and one separately for the right vertical. I'm just giving both of them to you so that you can reference the style of them. All right, let's see. I think we got a cluster. I saw a cluster. Where'd it go? Oh, on the screen. All right, so check this out. Without me having to go into Photoshop and change each and every flower, the intensity of the color, isn't that cool, y'all? Oh yeah, peace lilies would be pretty. Now get this, if you don't know what colors to put or what flowers to put either, like you could say, hey, I'm doing a design for Whitney Houston to honor her for her birthday. And I saw that there was like pinks and purples used, and you, of course, they're commemorating her with the Barbie and stuff. So maybe I would tell it, hey, I want to make sure I do a Barbie theme using pinks, purples, deep colors, pastels, etc. I don't have to know what the flowers are. And I would tell it, hey, I need you to help me choose flowers that would be appropriate for this occasion. And you don't have to know the florals. You don't even have to know the colors. It can help you develop that theme. And that's all I want to show you, that, you know, AI is not going to take over your brain, but it can help you to make those decisions that we often take our time with and a lot of times hang us up on getting a job. All right, so I have a little cluster there. And I'm just going to go reference my my Automizer sheet here just to make sure that I have most of what I need here. So 1, 2, cluster 1, cluster 2. So I'll go ahead and drop in cluster 2. So this was cluster 1. Cluster 2 is similar, but it just has a different balanced layout there. Bring it to the beginning. I'm just going to generate one of those. And then let's go ahead and get back into our prompt here. So there's the prompt for the left vertical decoration. Let's copy that. I'm going to leave this green image as my reference because remember we said we wanted to reference the colors, the style, and the flowers. And then let's go ahead and put our left corner. Get rid of the cluster. And then once it uploads, we have to make sure we put it in the image 1 slot. And then I'll come over here and also grab my right corner. And let's grab the prompt for the right. All right, and then I'll let that cook. And this one, we didn't do any like of the heavenly gates or anything, but we might as well do it for this theme. Why not? Because I like with the gatefold product, the gatefold program, for it to also show you that, hey, you actually could put gates on this and it really does bring that like a whole nother look. Definition of the gatefold there. All right, so let's do. And I think I already have this background. I'm going to drag and drop it in. But you see, at first I talked to it as far as helping me with my prompt before I even create anything. That makes me just a little more confident that I'm going to have consistent results. Because the AI does remember the projects that you worked on. It does eventually remember the style that you like for things to be. So creating that consistency does mean a lot. And I don't know if this one's supposed to have a calla lily. Did it? Was it supposed to? Oh, I can tell it too. Make sure that as we're making the descriptions, for the decoration that it is explicitly saying the types of flowers and the style and the colors as well in every single prompt. That way it doesn't get lost and start putting flowers that are not supposed to be in there. And I think that's why, because I don't believe we had a calla lily in there. All right, this kept with the theme here. Now, I did have a little bit more of mine coming out into this L shape here. So I wonder if it's gonna do that for the other. Yeah, it did. It did that for the other. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rerun this one. You can just hit regenerate if you don't want to edit the prompt at all. Hit reuse if you want to edit the prompt. And I can even edit to say like maintain the L shape or that sort of thing. All right, and I think it did keep up with the left and right here, so I'm good with that. And then I'm gonna rerun this one because I don't want, or maybe I did already rerun it. I don't want that calla lily there because I don't believe I had calla lily in my instructions or my plant that I wanted to use the structure for. So I'm gonna let it correct that hopefully. All right, and then let's go ahead and get our prompt for our gates now. Now I want to create a prompt that uses those emerald and gold colors and creates a heavenly gate background design, similar to what I have uploaded here, but I want to make sure that it matches our new emerald theme. All right, so I'm letting that cook. And see, I'm telling it to create a prompt, but it's so ready to create an image that it is literally making an image here. So I'm gonna, I think it figured it out and straightened out here. All right, so let's read that. Let's see, and we're gonna luxury gold theme. I wanna see, let's use the second prompt here. They said it's stronger. Ooh, I do like this one better, but oh, I thought it cut out there, but it didn't. This one I really like. I wonder how it's gonna do with those details of this little small vine type of greenage there. Apologize, y'all. I had to cough. I didn't want to cough in your ear. All right, so let's do this one. And let's go ahead and upload our heavenly theme here. And I'm not going to include the florals here because it really has nothing to do with the florals other than the color. So I could tell it to use image 2 as a color reference only. So use image 2 as color reference only. And then I can just reference that here. And for my backgrounds, I do like to do a different ratio. I like to do the 3x2 so that it covers my all over t-shirt. It covers if I want to do a backdrop, that sort of thing. So I'm going to change the ratio here to 3:2 and then generate there. And see how now it's wider and this one is more square. So I'll send 2 of those and then let that cook. And that's what I say, it's really all about a system. Once you have a template, the idea is how can you realize this design? So background here, I'll show you how to change that background with just a couple of clicks with changing the colorway here. That won't be hard at all. So let's go ahead and start on that. So as I'm going here, if there's something that I like and I'm ready to save it and use it, let's see. I think that was our downloaded one. And then this is our upscaled one. So I'm going to download the upscaled one. And download this cluster here. I'm not upscaling them because I don't intend on using this one for a full scale project. However, if I was, and I was going to print banners, backdrops, and things of that nature, very large images, I would upscale each of these pieces. So I know I upscale one of them just to show you how to upscale, but I just want you to keep in mind that if you like the casket wraps are technically large format designs, wide format printing. So I want to make sure that I have those really well. I like this image here. Let's go ahead and download that one. I'm just putting a heart next to the ones that I downloaded. And look how it took like the same exact concept and it literally just changed my colors out. So things that I used to do in Photoshop where I would carefully craft the colors for the new colorway and create all of these different layers that would automatically change based on our smart color. Now what I'm doing is I'm utilizing AI to help me reimagine those pieces. And no, it may not be exactly the same, but this is very, very close. And of course, I would upscale this in order to use it in my graphic. But in this case, I'm going to keep it as the native size because I want this to go by as quick as possible with as much information as possible. And if you feel like this is a lot, I want y'all to know we've been doing this for about 5 weeks, maybe even more by now. So this is literally projects and things that we built up to on the way. So if you want to catch those replays, please, by all means, join. You can buy individual classes, but I encourage you to take advantage of our back to school special where you get to be in our Craft to Quit program. You get to have our weekly classes with us live. And then you also, I'm doing a special, this crazy back to school special where I unlock all of the past classes. I have over 4 years worth of classes that usually unlock every 7 days that you're a member. So you get to unlock all 200 and something Photoshop classes and 100 and something AI classes just because you join the Craft to Quit membership. All right, so I download that one, put a little heart there so I know that that's the one that I liked. And let's take a look, make sure that we have all we need. Now I'm going to take these elements that we just created. I'm going to open them up in Photoshop first. Now this one, I don't feel like I need to clean up the background or change any, but if I have anything that I need to edit, like let's say there was something I didn't want to see and it was like an artifact or something really ugly in my design, I could clean it up now and do generative fill, correct the issue, and that might be a step I do before bringing it in. But this looks really good. I'm just going to save this one as Emerald Gates, or we'll put Emerald and Gold Gates. So that one's already ready to go. This one, I'm going to do remove background, and it's going to use the AI inside of Photoshop just to clean that background up. Usually does a pretty good job, but it can leave a mess, and that's where you need to know how to use some of your tools here. This actually looks really good. So I'm gonna call this one my emerald cluster. And I go ahead and just quick export it as PNG. Just so I have all of the stuff in one place. Let's go ahead and remove the background for this one too. And I thought that this one might be a little tricky because of those vines. So let's see how removing that background turns out. And then push come to shove, I don't need the little lines between the vines, but if it does preserve it, which it looks like it did preserve these little vines, that is a lot of tiny detail that is doing the work for. And then this one, when I name it here on the layer, it automatically keeps that name when I quick export it as PNG. Just so you know. And the reason why I'm resaving it, because I don't like when I have an image and it has all of this extra white space or negative space here, when I go pull it into my design and manipulate it to be larger, smaller, or rotate it, it counts all of this dead space as part of my design. And it makes it very difficult. If you only quick export as PNG, what you have created a layer mask for, it will be tight to the only the part of the image that has pixels. So let me just show you better than I can tell you. How about that? All right, so see how this image is essentially smaller or not as wide? That's because it only is exporting the pixels itself. If I save this big old board here, then I always get this huge square that makes it difficult to layer my images. That's just a little pro tip. And then I don't have to save it since I already have my PNG versions here. All right, now this is a way to, if you're using the 355 template the way it is, you can absolutely go in and individualize all of your beautiful flowers and stuff, but we're gonna go with a quick method here. And I'm gonna turn off my flowers here. The decor front, decor back, because I have my flowers in layers. And we had a wreath that we needed to, yep, here it is. Let's go ahead and remove the background from that too. Looks good here. Oops. I was doing Control-C, I thought. All right, so I just copied the name so I remember what this is replacing. Oops, wrong wreath. I was about to put the same wreath back up in there. All right. Make sure I have my PNG version I just cut out. There it is. All right. If you want to turn the old one back on just so you can see the placement, but this just helps us get to our next part of the project, which is just resizing. And then just basically managing to take up about the same space. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can imagine that the more you keep this consistent, the easier it'll be able to change out these elements. All right, so we have that wreath changed out there. I also had some components in front of her, but just to keep it simple, I'm gonna keep it all behind. Remember, I had some of those elements in front there. All right, and now I want to pick my smart color. So I'm gonna pick like a really deep green color, like that one there. And I wanna pick one of my brighter greens. See how I have the green and the green there? And that's gonna be my smart colors. So color number 1 is gonna be my deep green. And then color number 2 will be my little bit brighter green. Well, it's a lot brighter. All right, see how I already started recoloring my background? And then that way I keep my gold as an accent. Put about a couple of elements here. And then I'm going to turn off my original Calla Lily design that I was just using for reference there. And check out how it also changed my initials here. And I'm going to go to Jasmine Carter, and it's keeping that lighter green. And here, I think I'm just going to do gold. So I'm going to double click on that gray there, and instead of gray, I'm going to select one of my golds here. Want one a little bit lighter. About there is good. Turn that on. Beautiful. That's exactly what I want right there. Now, we can create a brand new model, but for the sake of flipping this design out, I'm just going to go into the photo here. And I'm going to use AI inside of Photoshop right now. Doing Control A. And I'm going to say make her dress emerald green. And I can use Gemini, or you can also use the Adobe model. Let's do the Adobe model and see if it does anything weird. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it actually works out pretty well. But I do believe that the Nano Banana follows the prompts better than the Firefly does. And it just has more reference. So if you're looking to complete like someone's arm or fingers, that sort of thing, I usually will use Nano Banana if I'm extending for something important. I haven't even been using AI. What's going on here? And then that just makes me remember to save my work. Hold on, y'all. Let me get on over here, save my green. Even though we only did a couple of things to flip it, I just feel like we did a lot of work. I'll even save that one. All right, so this time, let's see if I can use my Gemini Pro. And tell it to, well, since it's giving me issues right now. Let's just do it in regular old AI here. As a matter of fact, if I find this one, so if you were here last AI class, last week, we did showing our character at different stages in life so we can make a collage. And then we recreated the collage. And I think we did better recreating the collage than AI did creating the collage. But that's just my opinion. See our products images that we made here. I'm looking for Jasmine. These are our collection images. Some of my clients' projects. Let's see, where's Jasmine? That's my granny and my daddy. Let's see. We have been working on this project pretty extensively. So where's Jasmine? Where's your individual photo, Jasmine? This is a lot of work, y'all. We have been doing a lot. I didn't even realize how we have built up over time, over these past few weeks. Because we just keep going. Okay, there she is. Okay, that's the one right there. I'm going to tell it to reference that image. Right there. I'm just going to put change her dress to emerald green. And if I don't tell it to maintain her pose or anything else, it should be fine. Now, the problem is you have to know what the ratio is for this one too. This one is, I don't know whether that's a 2x3. It might be a 2x3. I'm going to go with a 2x3. The reason why I say you want to have the same ratio is because if you want it to fit exactly in that same place and you just want to change somebody's outfit, a lot of times they'll give you an image for a memorial where maybe they're wearing a purple suit and the theme color is blue. This is practical, real world things that you will have to do. I used to go into Photoshop and change the color of their apparel so that it matched the theme of the design of the program and the decor and everything. So this is your opportunity to use AI to do that. And I'm going to give it a little time for the ChatGPT image 2 to do it, but I also want to show you that Nano Banana will do it and probably do it a little bit quicker. Like I started this one much later than the ChatGPT one, but I pretty much guarantee that the Nano Banana Pro is going to be done before ChatGPT. All right, so while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start changing out some of my elements here. And this is for the Automizer. The whole basis of it is, hey, if you have any design that you're working on, for instance, I'm starting with a t-shirt design. And actually, she looks good. This kind of looks like a champagne rather than like a pink color. So that color could still work. I just want to show you how you can change it if you want to. But all these elements now, including these initials here, when you see the .png after the either the layer name or the folder name, it means that it's going to make its own little quick PNG of that particular group or layer. So if I go back to my Emerald assets now, you see how it has the image with no text. The foreground image, it has the text as well. It automatically propagates all this stuff for me. The 44 by 36, which is good for use as a all over shirt. It even went and redid all of my text. Do y'all see that? Now, if I want the inside of this text not to be the light green, but to be the gold instead, then I have to go in and change each of those pieces. But this is essentially all of my pieces ready to go just from one template. So if you have a design style that you like you don't have to have a million different templates. You can offer literally even just this one template and then change what the background is. Maybe it's going to be a lake because he was into fishing. Maybe the accents that are around the image might be, fishing poles or if somebody really liked gardening, maybe their theme would be gardening. Whatever you want the theme and the accents to be, you can tailor it to that particular person, but the principle still stays the same. It's still a background, still a foreground, still some accent elements, still some text. Now I'm going to come out of this one since it wasn't helping me out with AI anyhow. And let's see if we have our new version here. I didn't get a chance to see which one came first, but I believe it probably would have been Nano Banana. But I like the deep color in this one. So I'm going to go with this one, download it. And the reason why I didn't ask it to change the background color is because I knew I was cutting it out. But you could also tell it to change the background color or even the whole scene of the background. All right, and then from here, we'll change out this photo. I'm just going to drop it in just like it would be a brand new photo. Did I save it? There it is. And then of course I use the remove background, which is using AI inside of Photoshop. Background is gone. Turn off my previous image. Make sure I save those changes so it'll propagate to the next level. And there we go. Now I can save. And I want to file automate. I want to turn back on my image assets. So here, like if I want to change the name, the date, the colors, anything of that nature. And then keep in mind, it still has all of these individual flowers because I didn't go in and change the individual flowers. I just made some clusters and some accent images straight off of AI so that I wouldn't have to rebuild it all. However, I will tell you, if you do rebuild it and you choose to use that as a template over and over again, it will be much higher quality. So you can blow it up onto banners, backdrops, and things of that nature without having any bad quality issues. Okay, all of my text looks good to go. All right, beautiful. Now I'm just going to save my 355 design file, come on over to my Automizer starter, and just change out these elements here. Starting with the color 1 and color 2, I always change out the colors first, because if you forget, some of your details will be off. And let's make sure that this is in order by name. So we have color 1, color 2. So now I'm going to turn on my auto select here in Photoshop, grab my color swatch 1, boom, drag and drop it. And for the Automizer, you do have to delete the layer that's underneath it for this PNG. But now the hardest work was just getting our prep together, seeing what elements we needed, getting images of our model or our client, making sure that we put those in the color that we need them. Now I'm going to show you something else too. I'm going to show you how to manually change the colors for, let's say, for color number 2. You can go to where it says adjust colors. Then let's click on this purple, this deep purple color, and you can change the hue. Make it more or less saturated, make it lighter or darker. And then of course, once we get it where we want it, we have to go ahead and merge that down because a PNG can only be one single layer with transparency. So now she's wearing green. Same thing here, adjust colors. Now this is not necessarily using AI. This is pretty much using the hue saturation feature inside of Photoshop. And this time I want to see if I can capture that little bit lighter color green. And if I truly want to test it, I can stop being lazy because I am pretty much being lazy right now. I can drop my colors in here. That way, if I want to put it up, this is me guessing. I wasn't far off, but I'm a little off. There we go. I'm gonna call that good enough. How about that? And then let's go ahead and merge that down. And this is something practical. Like I said, when people give you pictures of a person wearing multiple different colored things and you want to make a really cohesive design, this is exactly how I would do that. So we used AI to change the color, and then now we're using the hue and adjustments to change the color here. Again, depending on whether I want the darker green, I think I'll go with the darker green here. Let's go to adjust the colors. We'll go with that main purple there and bring it to where it starts becoming green. And look how you can just change these colors, y'all. And I'm happy with that, so I'm gonna leave it alone. That's gonna be my emerald green dress. Oh, Chrissy, this is just extra. This isn't class yet. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and change out the elements like my background here, because once I create whatever I want in my template 355, then it also propagates that as an asset. And I'm just looking for my background right there. So I also change out my foreground. And this is the foreground that has the text. Slightly different layout, but it works in the same way. Now I'm just changing out my elements here, just like if I flip the design manually. Bring my background in there, beautiful. Now what I would have to do is go through each of my elements and change out, like for instance, my arch text there. Here it is. And then this will be my straight and loving memory of. And then what I'm doing, I'm deleting the layer underneath it because it's a PNG, and in order for it to design so many products at one time, it has to keep it simple in terms of the layers. So it just has a single little PNG holding in place. And I'm looking for my resting piece. Boom, there it is. And I'm just working my way down to replace the elements here. And you see when I replace the recorder, it's that solid gold there instead of the rose gold. And this is the only time where I like the auto select. I don't think I need to change the dates because they're just black. I don't think we change that at all. Or maybe we did. Maybe that is colorful. Yeah, it is. It's the darker green color. So I need to also go change those dates because the dates are purple. All right, so so far, you do not have to use as much as I have here. I just have things in placeholders because I know that once I get started on a project, I hate to go back to my original template just to, spell out some words to get the styling and that sort of thing. So I'm creating all of the text that I will possibly need for this entire memorial project. All right, there's my forever in. Oops, drag the wrong one. And this is just the initial J. But you can see how thorough this is in terms of redesigning all of your elements so you don't forget anything. And you may or may not use all of the text and elements that I created. And if that's the case, then all you have to do is go into those layers and just turn them off, like literally delete the pixels from that layer and it will be blank and you don't have to worry about it. I'm just doing my best to prepare for vertical versus horizontal text and different expressions that I will be using. And you'll see I even have some vertical text saved here because there are some designs that just call for vertical text and it's easy to just to have them already prepared. And I'm double clicking on the thumbnail. If you can't tell what I'm doing in order to get to these individual layers, I'm double clicking on the thumbnail. So I didn't used to have vertical text saved in the Automizer, but when we were doing things like columns and jackets and sleeves and that sort of thing, I noticed that we did a lot more vertical text. So you can still have your regular text, your horizontal text, but the vertical text just adds a way that you can save these components and use them later. All right, let's go ahead and do the gates, the heavenly gates. And this one was not upscaled, so it does have a little bit of issue with the quality. So I would definitely upscale it if I was going to use it for my project. Right now, I'm doing this as a demo. I turned the opacity down so I could see where it is overlapping. All right, so I'm not gonna worry about changing that pattern there because I don't think we're using the pattern right now. You may want to use the pattern for like your wrapping paper and that sort of thing. So if that's the case, then you can create a pattern in AI like we did, or you can manually create a pattern. And I have several classes showing y'all how to manually create a pattern. Now, what I'm gonna do, I typically don't do a flipped image for left and right, but in this case I am, just so we can get done a little bit quicker. So that's my left corner there. And then for the right corner, I'm gonna bring in the same one. And I'm gonna do Control T to transform it, and then I'm gonna flip it like a mirror. Same thing with the clusters. I'm gonna take cluster 1 and just flip it for cluster 2. But you do see that even by hand, I manually created a different set for cluster 1 versus cluster 2. All right, and bring it in quote unquote cluster 2, which is technically cluster 1 with the Control T transform. And let's flip it. And then for this accent one, I'm going to build it with the wreath that I have. And let's do the initials here. All right, deleting the old, and now I have a new logo. And imagine like you can do this logo for a wedding or a birthday party, and it could be like somebody's initial with the number 50 if it's their 50th birthday. So I just want you to know you can get creative with this. Now it's a PNG. So if I have more than one layer that I need to put together, I'm going to select all the layers and I want to merge those layers. If I were doing a JPEG and I didn't need the pixels to be transparent in the background, then I would flatten the image. But merging it maintains all your transparency. Now let's see if our design for the back, did I make a back design? I think I did. Your wings were ready. Did we do that in this? Let me see. I think I did it for you all as a bonus. I don't remember though. Let's see. All right, so that's our vertical and horizontal text. Oh, there it is, right here. All right, your wings were ready, but my heart was not. I feel like I could recolor that a little bit better, but that means it's already in my folder. I'm going to use it as is just so we can go ahead and grab it. There it is. So we'll use that as the back design. All right, everything, all my input looks good. I also need to go ahead and change out my young lady because she should be wearing the green. Boom, there she is. Now keep in mind, everything on this left side has not changed out yet because it still has the original colorway. I'm just making sure that all my pieces make sense before I create a whole collection based off of this. And I'm just looking for my background so I can drop into this. So I'm adding my background, and then I'm going to create a clipping mask. So it goes inside of there. And this is for when I'm making my all over-ish designs where I'm not really printing all over, but I just want some accents around the wrist or around the bottom of the shirt. So it doesn't seem like it's all white. That's how I do that. And again, we're going to merge down or merge because we're doing a PNG. And I showed you all how to create a seamless tile too, if that's something that you want to add here. And I'm just gonna do, nope, I'm not. I'll go back and show you all where we created that pattern in AI. And then we'll create a pattern using our new reference image. Now, I hope I didn't pass it because I know we've done a lot in this project, so I want to make sure that I get it. I think I did pass it. It probably would be helpful to be able to search your images. Here we go. I'm rolled right past it. So I'm gonna hit reuse this one. It says use the floral and greenery and gold accents, break down and create a seamless pattern isolated on a white background. So instead of that reference, I'm gonna use one of our new references. And whenever I'm creating a seamless tile, I do it with a 1:1 ratio. And it may or may not listen to me. Sometimes it looks like it's going to be a seamless tile and it's not, but there are ways to test it out. All right, and I just refresh. So hopefully that won't take too long to create a little pattern there. But that's essentially it. For everything that I have to do design-wise. If you were going to change the poem, change the memorial facts, anything of that nature, I did show you all last week that you can go in, change these, and just replace the PNG that's in these placeholders. All right, like this little pattern here. So hopefully it's seamless. I'm looking to see, does it continue left to right, top to bottom? It looks like it does. So let's go ahead and download it. And not every project you will need a pattern. So I just like to have them ready because typically I do use things like this for accents. And then also like if you're doing custom printed gift wrap paper or all over prints that you want to have a pattern, this would be a great way to use that. All right, from here, instead of using the remove background tool, I'm going to use the magic wand tool. Make sure my tolerance is on 32. I'm going to take off contiguous. Contiguous means if I touch on white, all the whites that's touching the white where I clicked will be selected. If I turn off contiguous, it's going to look for white anywhere in the design, including places that I would not naturally touch. Then I will go to select inverse, and I'm going to go ahead and create a layer mask for that. So it's a transparent background. So then when I create a pattern from it, I'm going to go to edit. Where am I? I'm looking for a define. Oh, I have to apply this. All right, since I applied my layer mask, now I can go to edit and define pattern. And I'm just going to call it emerald floral. Oops, let me not close that just yet. And then when I go to my drop down for patterns now, it should automatically show up as one of my patterns. And this is just me testing the pattern. If I change the scale of it, does it continue? Or does it look odd? So this is about a 34% of scale, and it does continue. It looks pretty good. And then from here, I did test my image and it works. So I'm going to place it on my layer here. Turn that off. Oh, I needed to make it a smart object. So let's go ahead and right click, convert to smart object. Now you don't have to do this in your template. I'm just doing this because I do create a pattern whenever I'm demonstrating for you all, just in case that's something you want to do. So now I'm going to duplicate it. And if it's a smart object, it preserves the sizing. So even when I shrink it here, like I'm going to do to fit in this square, and it preserves its full image size there. All right, and once I have that saved there, I have a little placeholder for my pattern here. And this just helps me remember where it is and how I can use it. So that's everything. I'm gonna go ahead and close down my template here, my emerald green. All right, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and push these products through. So here are the products. I believe we have about 21 or 22 products that were added this time around. Again, I was only supposed to do 5 or 6, and I got carried away. But we have the casket wrap, the tissue label, There's a 3.5-inch button and a 1-inch button, because before there was just a 2.25 button. We have a candle, like a memorial candle, the urn graphic, and I'm actually going to show you all how to do mock-ups for these in our Photoshop class tonight. So I will show you how to make your own mock-ups, whether you have the Automizer or not. And then if you're excited by the fact that you don't have to make 200 different mock-ups and you don't have to make all the design files for them too, then maybe you want to go ahead and rock with the Automizer. All right, lanterns there. And I'll show you all these products. I think they're easier to see here. I'll show you the new ones. All right, so again, I'll make it a little bit bigger here for you all to see. There's the casket wrap, there's pendant wings, necklace, grave blanket. This is the bifold program, which folds in half. The blanket, bookmark, buttons. So we have 3 different buttons. There's a 1-inch, 3-inch, and a 2-inch button. The mock-ups look the same, but in terms of what it prints, the printable file is to scale in the correct size. We have the candle, and this is like a memorial type of candle. You can even get these at the dollar store, and what you do is you put the label on them. This is a flameless candle that you can even get these from Walmart, but you can also buy them wholesale and on Amazon. And you can do the DTF images on these candles, and they don't burn at all. So the idea is to have a representation of a candle that is flameless. Prayer cards are there. There's the casket panel insert, casket wrap, dog bandana, a dog shirt, the paddle fan there, gatefold, program, lantern, magnet, and the magnets are good for like refrigerator magnets, but you can also do them different sizes for vehicles and other things. A necktie, pillow. I have the product poster image that has a traditional kind of black or white frame, and then this one is just specifically for memorial. It's very common to have these really substantial frames and flowers and things of that nature on the easels. And then also you have a standard easel. Let's say you're doing a minimalist design or a wedding or something like that, and you don't want to have all of the extra on there. Those are built into the design. You got your rosary beads, which those are getting more popular, and you can actually sublimate the image there, or you can print it and do the doming technique with the enamel. This silk scarf, tapestry blanket. This is the mini tissue pack. We're going to design that one together. The product mock-up here is for the trifold, and there are different trifolds. There's a trifold for 3 different sizes: 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14, and the 11 by 17 size. And of course, t-shirts, all overs, DTF, and sublimation center print shirts. There's even, I saw that there were some urns, and you don't have to actually do those with the ashes or anything in them. You can ship these directly to the customer, but using DTF, and I have seen some sublimation versions, but I think the UV DTF is best for creating these graphics that will go on these hard substrates. Wind spinner, there's also wind chime. And then, so those are all the newer products, updated products that are relevant. There's over 200 products in the Automizer, which some of them are relevant to memorial, but just not in terms of what I'm demonstrating right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make sure that I save my work here. And like I said, there are so many products here that you could choose, including apparel, jackets, zip ups, all of that, and they would automatically propagate too. But I'm just gonna do some of these memorial products that we already have here. And I don't even want to do all of them because I know it's going to take a little more time. So let's just do, let's say we're going to do a candle. Let's do the poster there. And let's just do the 8.5 by 11, 3 different programs. So you can see that it does make those changes to the different programs. So we'll do the bifold, gatefold, and the trifold. And then what I want to do is I want to alt click and drag so that I'm not really moving them. I'm making a copy of them. And I put them into my new package. So this is going to create a package with just those products in it. Then what I do, and this is the scary part, I'm going to go to File, Save As, because you always have the full version of the Automizer that has literally all of the products. And I'm just going to put this one like it's our class version. It's not the vault itself, it's just the class. All right, and now that I have a version of it saved for just the class, I'm going to delete all the product mockups. And I know that's scary because that was over 200 products I just deleted, but I have the ones that I really want to do the design for. Make sure that I have that saved. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and package this design here and make sure I save my design there. I'm going to go to File, Package. And before I package the design, the way I can test it, and here, I'll cancel this so I'll show you if it'll let me cancel it. Sometimes it's working and it won't let me cancel. Hey, customer happiness made us a working doc and I didn't even know. All right, it's not gonna let me cancel. It should let me cancel. There it goes. All right, so I just want to show you that you can. Now say for instance, go into these little sample designs here. And if you double click on it, double click on the design. And if you just want to see these manually before you get into automizing everything, just go to update all modified content and you'll see the new design. That way, if you need to make any, small adjustments or anything, you can adjust it before you get to creating all the mockups and the printable files for your entire project. And again, I'm just going to update all modified content. So then you'll see everything that was pink now turning to our green theme. And just making sure that you're saving every time that you go into the products and update the content, make sure that you save. And this is just my way of testing out the most basic parts of the graphics, the all over design versus the center print design. Just making sure that everything is going to be cohesive. And so far, everything looks good. All right, yep, I got a reminder that it is about time for a Photoshop class. So what I'm gonna do is, let me see, for those that are in the Zoom room, is anybody in the Zoom room? Some of you in the Zoom room already purchased the Automizer. If you already purchased the Automizer, put a 1 in the chat, let me know. Okay. Anybody that wants to purchase the Automizer, you're in the chat right now and you want the 50% off of the Automizer. Put a 2 in the chat right now. Let me see if I have anybody in the chat that wants it, that doesn't have it yet. Okay. All right. So let me get that link for you. And customer happiness may have it. I'm not sure. Let me see. Customer happiness is usually way on top of things, better than me. Let's see. And customer happiness, let me know if you have the link because I'm looking for it right now. I thought I had it. Oh, yep, you do have it. Perfect. And if you could drop that on the YouTube side as well, please, just in case, or maybe it's easier for me to do it. Copy link. Oh, all these Zoom things are in my way. Okay, so yeah, y'all have the link. I'm updating all modified content so I can get back to my green. Yeah, all of this text is editable as well. I'm just using basically the simple feature, just changing the colors and the image and some of the images so that you get the idea of how this works. So this is the manual way that you change all of them. See how I'm going into them? And this is still way quicker than going into Canva, resizing all of your images, replacing all of the elements. Like once you change it to a different floral design or a different color, you have to go in and do all that work over again. So here in Photoshop, we're just testing out our automation, but this is not even the end of it. Let me show y'all real quick before we have to head over to Photoshop class. All right, this green looks really good on that dark black. I like that. Oh my goodness, hold on, y'all. That, if somebody got it for that price right now, y'all, hold on. Hold on, customer happiness. That price is supposed to be $297. Or no, $247 for 50% off. Hold on, I gotta change it. So if y'all already got it, that's fine. But I've got to change that because that is wrong. That is so wrong. Let's edit. Because I promised y'all 50% off, not 75% off. Oh, hold on. I can't even get to it fast enough. All right, here we go. Somebody got it. Hold on, y'all. If you got it, you got it. But y'all better be glad I got slow internet over here if y'all got it. Because you are not supposed to be able to get it for, was it 147? Hold on. The 50% off price that I promised y'all is 247. I don't know how in the world that happened. Hold up, y'all. Save it. All right, it's 247. Whew. And it goes to 497 after our live today because I promised y'all if y'all sat with me and saw the magic of it or whatnot that I would have a special price for you. I would have a 50% off price. So it's 497. And this designs 200 products for you, printables plus mockups. You would spend that much money on 200 mockups. 200 mockups easily would cost you $500. Easily. So this is the mockups and the printable files plus the template that actually makes all of this come together and makes it easy to design. All right, so let's go ahead now. Now we package. And what happens when I package all of those products that I set aside, like the lantern and the candle and those sort of things, all of those products now will automatically change to the new design without me having to manually go in and update each of them. I don't have to move anything around for the most part. Everything is going to be in place how I need it to be. There are some minor tweaks that you may have to make depending on, let's say, if your name is longer than the space already is there that provides, then you may have to do some adjustment there. But other than that, no, it's not a code. It's just I just made the price. So you don't even need a code. As long as you have the link that I gave you here, then you'll be able to use that link while I'm live. This is the 355 if you purchase the 355. So don't purchase it again if you already purchased the 355. You'll know because I don't think it will allow you to purchase it more than once. All right, so it's asking me, good sign, new folder, and I'll call this one 355 class. All right, so, and I don't know, I wouldn't say that it's a lot because I've actually sold the Automizer before for $8.97, even $12.97 because of all the products, the mock-ups and the designs it has in it. So it depends on if you're, for instance, if someone asks you just to design a t-shirt or just to design a program, this gives you the opportunity to show several different products with the same theme, the same colorway, similar styling so that it can help you sell more products and help you save your time. Because I've gone in and I've designed a t-shirt, then designed a backdrop, then flipped it. I've even done all of this stuff in Canva, and there is no way that I'm going to do that on a regular basis for my clients. This allows me to do that for the clients and create packages. Like if you have, hey, this is my beginner package, this is my deluxe package, this is my funeral home package, whatever your packages are, now you can create those as individual little groups, propagate that image design, and then show a funeral home their collection. Show the family members, maybe the family members care more about the pillows and the blankets and the keepsakes, but the funeral homes care more about the casket wraps, the grave blankets, or the things that they're going to immediately use for the program, for instance, those portraits and those kind of things. So that's why it makes it helpful for you to sit down and say, well, what products am I going to offer? How many, like I can do 30 products. I probably wouldn't do more than 30 products for a particular collection. And then that way, I have my core products that I'm going to use for my Shopify store. I don't design all 30 products for a customer. I usually, for a client or a customer, I will take maybe 5 designs or 5 products and do that design on those 5 products. So if it's for an individual, I might do the fan, I might do the t-shirt, I may even do like a backdrop or banner if they're doing an event style type of repass where they want to take photos and that sort of thing. Do photo panels, cutouts, that sort of thing will be great for that resource. If you're doing the funeral home, they like to see more of the programs and let's see, the tapestry blankets, the portraits on the easel, those sort of things, because they need those for every single program that they do. All right, so it looks like my package is done. All right, let me close out of this and let's see what my package looks like now. And I'm gonna do this one. All right, so the telltale sign are all of my products now. Look, remember I told you I didn't actually do the poster? The poster's done. I didn't actually do the programs. The programs are done. All I did was the t-shirts, right? Like just flip the t-shirts just to make sure that they were right and the t-shirt's still there. The rosary's done. So all of the products that we saved and told it to create in our collection is done. Now it may be like something like this where you say, oh, well, I want to add a little contrast between this because it doesn't pop off enough, or maybe I want to change the color or add a glow. I could do that now just for the tie because the tie might need a little bit of tweaking based on my new design concept. So for here, if I notice this needs a little pop, I might add an outer glow. And then that way now that pops off. So just some minor tweaks may be needed, but for the most part, everything pops in right in time, right in place and right on top. Gravy flaking it off. So we did not go into those and change them. It automatically did that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to, I think what I'm going to do, because we're in the same room, but we are going to make, we're going to do our mock-ups today. I think it's 6 mock-ups total. I'm going to work through and showing you the different ways that I do mock-ups based on what the angles are and all that stuff. So I'm going to do that in class today. And of course, if you're in the Photoshop class, you get the template. So you'll get the mock-up files that I make anyway. If you have the Automizers, you'll have the mock-ups within the Automizer. And those of you who are guesting in the Zoom room today, you're welcome to stay. However, the only people that get the templates is if you're in the membership or you have purchased the class. So you're welcome to stay, learn as much as you possibly can. I promise I don't hold anything back. I'm gonna teach it all, but just depending on time. So what we're gonna do is take a little break. Let's see. Yeah, Melissa, to be honest with you, I probably should have been charging a lot more every single time. I should be charging $700 and more for this Automizer, as much as I put into it and as much work as it cost me. I absolutely should, but I like to make it something that is accessible, but also it holds value. It does. Sam, you want the link for the Automizer? Thank you for sharing that link. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you already bought it, I don't believe it'll even let you buy it again. So don't worry about it buying it again. And this one, the mock-ups that I'm making tonight with you all, I'm adding to it, and then that's it. It's a total of 20, I think 20 products that I've added to it now, including all of the programs and everything. And after class tonight, that will be the final 355 Automizer. Okay. I just wanted to show you all how you can use AI, not just Photoshop. You can update the Automizer with AI. You can update the Automizer with your Canva design files. I don't know if y'all know that, but maybe one of these days we'll take a Canva design file and put it into the Automizer. All right, so I'm gonna give us a little break here. Let's see, it is 8:08. Let's resume at 8:15, and then I'll start doing the template mockups and everything, customer happiness. If you can play some of our videos in the meantime, I'm gonna go take a bathroom break. Oh, I forgot. Hold on, wait, sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and run this just so I can show y'all, and then I'll show you the results when we get back from my bathroom break. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go and create all the PNGs from here. So we'll do the Automizer to PNG. We're gonna choose the folder that it comes from. We're gonna go to our 355 class, go to that links folder, select that folder. And then everything is gonna go to our hold PNG folder. I'm just gonna hit OK. So that basically this is gonna be running. It's gonna go ahead and create all of my PNGs. I'll show y'all real quick. Automizer on, go to our whole PNG. And see, I was just creating our PNGs. It's going to create our individual elements. It's going to create our printable files, our PNGs of our printable files, which are actually real size files that you can print for your t-shirts, for your party favors, for your candles, whatever the design is. It's going to be a print ready PNG size. And then it'll also make the mock-ups for you too. So that's the beautiful thing. That's the value of it. That is the work that goes into it. That is my blood, sweat, and tears and the dreams that I had when I was creating this thing for you all. I literally dreamt about this to make this a easier process for you all to make more money and do less work and focus on getting your clients and showing off your beautiful designs and not creating hours and hours and hours in designing multiple products with the same design. Okay. So this is literally creating all these pieces for you now. We're going to take a short break and I will see you all. You can watch the video once, stick around, go grab you a snack, use the bathroom, whatever you need to do. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Okay. Thank y'all. I love y'all for real.
Hi loves! Welcome to our advanced Photoshop class. In this class, you'll learn how to create amazing template designs from scratch using advanced Photoshop techniques. You will discover professional tools, smart workflows, and design methods that will help you work faster and create better results. This is a great opportunity to learn from a Photoshop and a printing business expert. The discussions here will not only be about creative design techniques, but also professional tips on measurements, precision, and industry best practices. Since this is now an advanced PSD class, there's no more steps to do before our live class starts. However, after every live class, you have to follow this checklist. You'll see this at the back end of your course. First, wait for the zip file, download and unzip it, install the fonts, have your own assets ready, and start designing from scratch. Use the recap video as your guide, then post your final designs in our Facebook page. Now, get ready to learn new skills and have fun creating incredible designs using Photoshop. Please hang tight, our class is about to begin.
I paint the sky with a whisper loud. Brushstroke cuts through every cloud. My thoughts run wild, no change, no bounds. Electric colors in a concrete town. I'm the architect of my own spark, a firework igniting in the dark. Creativity is my superpower. Turning dust to gold in the final hour. I build a world with a single thought. No cage, just dreams. It's all I've got. I bend the rules like a melody bends. Snap a rhyme, make the broken man. A kaleidoscope spinning in my chest. This canvas bleeds, but it's my best. Ideas collide, a thunderous roar. They crack the ground and break the floor. Creativity is my superpower. Turning dust to gold in the final hour. I build a world with a single thought. No cage, just dreams.
Keep doing things that you love. Innate Academy is always here to support you.
Hi loves! Welcome to our advanced Photoshop class. In this class, you'll learn how to create amazing template designs from scratch using advanced Photoshop techniques. You will discover professional tools, smart workflows, and design methods that will help you work faster and create better results. This is a great opportunity to learn from a Photoshop and a printing business expert. The discussions here will not only be about creative design techniques, but also professional tips on measurements, precision, and industry best practices. Since this is now an advanced PSD class, there's no more steps to do before our live class starts. However, after every live class, you have to follow this checklist. You'll see this at the back end of your course. First, wait for the zip file, download and unzip it, install the fonts, have your own assets ready, and start designing from scratch. Use the recap video as your guide, then post your final designs in our Facebook page. Now, get ready to learn new skills and have fun creating incredible designs using Photoshop. Please hang tight, our class is about to begin.
I paint the sky with
All right. Thank you, customer happiness. All right, my loves and fellow creatives, we're on the part 2 of tonight's situation. Part 1 was me just showing you all ways that we've developed systems over here in Innate Academy, like true systems, not just a checklist of things to do, but ways that things automatically propagate, ways that things save you time and help you to think clear along the lines of your project. So that was what we were doing with the mock-ups and also creating the printable files. I just want to show you the output from that really quickly. Let's see. I'll go ahead and take you to a little whole PNG folder that I was showing you. And just so you know what Automizer does, not only was it making your mock-ups that whole time, which just making the mock-ups alone would be magical, right? Would be completely magical. So all of those mock-ups that it created, I've never really experienced anything like this. I used to do all this stuff manually by hand for each client, and I would never be able to do so many different mock-ups for a client. As a matter of fact, I would dread sometimes when they wanted multiple products, because that meant I had to design multiple things with the same design, and it would just rack my brain redoing the same project over and over again. This system is designed so that it doesn't rack your brain. It actually creates mental space. It creates a process that you can do every single time, create your collection images, and then it also creates your printable images. So let's say, and for tonight, what I'll do is I'll put this on the free class side. I'll just give you all of these PNGs. The reason why, let's say you tell me tonight, I can't afford the Automizer. And I say, we don't say that over here. If you want to be able to do it, you say, how can I afford it? Well, if you use these mock-ups and say that you can create these designs, and somebody gives you, let's say, I want to do 5 of these $60 all over shirts. Well, that's what, 5 and 6, that's $300. That's the sales special right there, and you have some money left over. So I'm just letting you know, don't say what you can't afford or what's too expensive. If it has the value, you know the value, and you'll find a way to do it based on if you see that value, okay? So I just want y'all to use that. Also, if you're in Craft to Quit, you know you have an affiliate code. So if somebody purchases using your affiliate code, then you get 50% of the sale. So sell 2 Automizers to somebody else tonight, and your Automizer is free. Just letting you know, there's always a way. Don't tell me there ain't no way. I give y'all ways, help create those ways for you all. But let's say, for instance, you're ready to print this program, is done. I mean, of course, you have to go in and type the text and put the photos in, but this gatefold one, y'all, this gatefold one is sending me. Like, I really like this. I wasn't for the gatefold. It was one of the most difficult programs to design template wise and try to figure out what text could go where. But y'all, this gatefold one is nice. Okay. See, on the inside, it's got narrow panels and stuff. I didn't like it at first, but I was like, okay, this right here makes it worth it. And when people open it up, it's substantial. So the gatefold kind of grew on me, and that's why I created the gatefold in 3 different sizes for y'all: 11 by 17, 8.5 by 11, and 8.5 by 14. So 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14, you can print on your home computers. If you have a printer that will print 11 by 17, you can even print the 11 by 17 gatefold for any of these programs on just regular, you could do regular ink. The paper that I would use is either a matte cardstock, or you could also use a glossy paper. Just be careful, because that glossy paper does not like to print high photo levels back to back. So sometimes you run into that issue. But I also created these with the 4over. You all know the 4over website. That one, they will do the program printing for you, and it fits their template style. So just letting you know, it's already baked into the design. Pillow, tapestry, but like all these are ready to go sizes. If it says preview at the end, keep in mind you need to go back into the file where we were designing it and export it or save as a PNG, quick save as a PNG at the full resolution image, because at preview, it's just preview for a reason to do the mockups. So some of these really large ones, our computers can't handle all of these images being at large size. So I put the word preview after it, so you would know, oh yeah, this one I have to go back and make the full scale in order to print it. But to mock it up, it's just fine. All right, so that's it. That's all I was showing y'all about this whole Automizer. Hopefully you grabbed your Automizer. I'll leave the price of the Automizer as is while I'm doing this Photoshop class tonight, but as soon as I'm done with class, I'm taking the price back up to $497. So hopefully you all get to take advantage of that. All right, so now what I want to do is I do want to show you all. I noticed one thing that we truly lack is creating mock-ups. So I decided to spend some more time on that. And also, I'm showing you all the process that I truly use. Where'd it go? No, wrong one. Hold on, I put the wrong one over here. I want to bring this window over. This window back. Here we go. All right, just getting some of these Zoom things out of my way so I can see what I'm talking about. All right. So let's see. If you remember, I showed you all how I made all of these blank substrates in AI. I'm not going to go back through that. I forget which class it was, but it was one of the classes we did in the past 4 weeks, okay? We have been going. Like everything that I've shown y'all are things that I use daily in my real design business, okay? That looks familiar. That's the mock-up or the basis of the mock-up for the gatefold product. That's the basis of the mock-up for the trifold product. That's the basis of the mock-up for the dog shirts, okay? Now, I was actually making my Automizer files, and I made a mistake. I was sleepy, and I deleted 6 of the products. So that's an opportunity for me to show you how I made those 6 products, and the idea is I should be able to do them rather quickly in front of you so that you see how to do the process as well. If you want to make your own product mock-ups, that's great. But for tonight, if I'm making all 6 mock-ups, then you get them as long as you're in the Photoshop class. Even if you don't have the Automizer, you get those 6 mock-ups. All right, so let's go ahead and make it do what it do. I already have the flameless candle. This is one of the ones that we're going to do here. Now, what I'm going to do is just bring all 6 products onto my artboard at one time, because remember I created them as 1:1 ratio. So we have the urn, the Let me go back to my reference here. Where's my folder? All right, so that candle here, I'm going to drag and drop it onto the artboard. Now, I will say this, the image size here is 15 by 15, but the resolution is only 72. That's good enough for web images. I'll even go pixels here, so 1080 by 1080. That's pretty much like your size for Instagram, Facebook, etc. when it's square. The reason why I designed the images at this mockup style is because we have 200 mockups, right? And every last one of those you all may be accessing, whether you're using the Automizer or not. And the idea is that you're able to quickly design your mockups, but also be able to have multiple mockups for your different clients. So that's why this image is smaller. I don't design super huge for mockups because they are web display really only. If I were printing these in catalogs and billboards and that sort of thing, I would be thinking of making these larger, but I designed for the end use, which is the web. All right, so when I drop them in here, they should pretty much go to the size here. And these are some beautifully created mock-up images, if I may say so myself. And we created these, like I said, in AI during one of our AI classes. So we have the candle there. We already did the casket wrap, the tissue. And I actually had fun making these mock-ups because I was really amazed that some of them took a few tries, like the tissue took a few tries. But when it did come out, y'all, look at how cool that tissue looks. Like it looks like individual folded tissue with the little clear plastic on there and all. Who was it in class that showed us the personalized memorial tissues? I want to make sure I shout you out and give you credit. Just want to let you know that that was a really great product idea, and I'm glad that you got it to me in time for me to include it in the Automizer. All right, so let's see here. We got the urn. So I'm going to grab that. And these are the layouts that I use. Remember I told you you can go to 4 over and get the templates in terms of what the sizing and fold lines are. That's what I use in order to create all of those different folded programs for y'all. All right, already did those. The urn is what I was looking for there. And then the button, I'm not going to do the button here because the button's already done. All I have to do is just resize it for the 1 inch and 3 inch. So that one wasn't that bad, but I do have to do these mock-ups here. All right. So the very, very first thing that I do is I create a folder just for that product. So I'm going to take the name here. This is my urn. I'm going to do Control G, which created a group, then Control V, which created a little folder. Why? Because I like my stuff to be tight and organized, especially when I'm doing a lot at one time. All right, so that's my tissue. And then I'm just going to put the word mini here because I think there's another tissue pack that's not a mini size. So I'm just going to put mini there. And then this one, instead of calling it candle 2, I'm going to call this my candle. I'm going to call it a prayer candle. That's typically, it may not be specifically a prayer candle, but if you see a lot of the prayer candles, they have the same glass here, and then usually they have a label that's on there. All right. All right, and the flameless candle's already done. I'm just using it to kind of show you my process as I'm going through. Now, what's happening here with this one is I'm going to use the elements. You can use the elements from the Automizer. So I'm literally showing you how I'm building this from the Automizer, but you can also use these elements from the 355 folder where we had those assets, if you remember. It's the same idea, it's just based on whether you're connecting these pieces or not. So most of what I like to be able to design with is foreground and background, okay? And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here because I've already designed the size. And I'll show you here, for instance, for the candle. And that particular candle, I think, is a 2x6. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, I know where it is. I put it in a certain folder that I knew we were going to do tonight. I think it's up here. To mock up. There it is. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the components that build this up. Right? You have a poem here. You have a foreground and a background. And then usually I'll put something on there to remind me not to let my text get too close to the edge. That is pretty much it for most products that you design. All right, foreground, background, and maybe some kind of additional piece of graphic or text or that sort of thing. The reason why I'm including extra text here is because it's a prayer candle. So I'm sure you may want to have scripture there, may want to have a poem there. And then typically this is a long or a tall image. And we want to make it exactly that size. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to turn this off. All right, now, in order to make your printable design, now this is why the Automizer is what it is. I'm literally showing you how to do all this from the ground up if you choose to do that. Then we're going to go File, New, and I'm going to create a new image. This is my printable image now. So I have my printable image, then I have my mock-up image. So my printable image is going to be 2 inches wide and 6 inches tall. And just for everything that's in the Automizer, I do it at 150 pixels per inch. You can choose to do 300 if you want, but like I said, for 200 products, that gets to be a bit heavy. So 2x6 here, 150, the color mode is RGB. And I do like for the background to be transparent, boom, create. This is going to be my printable file. First is going to be my editable file in terms of what images I put on here, then it's going to be my printable. So just referencing this here, like I said, you got your foreground, background image, and some text. And whether you're pulling this from the Automizer, I got my foreground here. I can hold down Shift. And as long as I have auto select, I can choose these individual elements, foreground, background, and then I have my poem text, which is down here at the bottom. Boom. Right click, duplicate layers, and I tell it to put it on that untitled one because I haven't titled it yet. All my elements are here. I just like to align them all by hitting center and center. Right, and then of course the background image I'm going to make bigger because I needed to take up this full space. But do you see how the idea of designing with the same elements help you in terms of getting the project done? I'm going to bring this in a little bit because I don't want anything getting clipped off the sides. Now, let's say all of your stuff isn't lined up and you're like, oh my gosh, it doesn't look even. It doesn't. And there's a reason why. I'm going to do Control A to select all here. And I'm just going to center it all. I got to have everything selected here. So I select the top one, hold down Shift, select everything here. Boom, boom. And let's say if this was a bookmark, you need to leave a little more space at the top for the whole, and the bookmark's already done, so you don't have to do a bookmark, but I'm just letting you know there may be things that you want to do. Let's say you want to create a little border down here at the bottom where it might have some of the foliage or accent image. You can absolutely do that, but this is as simple as it gets. So now I'm going to save this. I'm going to group everything here. And then what I like to do is I like to put the size. So I'm going to put 2x6, and then this is the 2x6 for the candle. I'm going to copy this group name here, file, save as. And then for right now, when I'm working in the Automizer, I put things in my linked folders. I kind of don't want to tell y'all to do that because it will confuse you and it will mess you up. But if we're just making regular old mockups, which is kind of the idea here tonight, I'm just going to make a mockup folder. Okay, and then I'm going to paste and call this my 2x6 candle, save it as a PSB. All right, and for as far as for my mockup, I'm going to say this is my product mockup, and I'm going to put this at the end of everything. So I know the difference. I like to know the difference between my product mockup and my printable file. So my printable files are always going to have the size in front of them because it helps you understand, are you printing the appropriate size? And then the mockup is going to have the word mockup at the end, so I know that I'm not mistakenly printing a mockup file if it's supposed to be something that I'm producing. Mockup files for me are strictly like internet-based. Hey, I'm sending this to you as a proof, or I'm putting this on my Instagram, or I'm putting this on my website. So it does not have to be high resolution at all. But you'll see where this comes into play now, because now I have my candle mockup here. And now I need to apply the graphic to the mockup. So let me, my little folder here. There it goes. All right, so this is my printable design. Boom. It goes on top. I'm resizing it. All right. Now there are a few options that you have here. You can warp this thing. You can actually use a tool that likes to make it look like it's on a cylinder, but it really distorts your image really bad in terms of makes the quality very low. So I really don't like that one, but I can show you that as well. Now, before I get to making my mock-up, I like to make 3 copies of the mock-up blank, okay? So let's just call this candle. Let's call it candle prayer. All right. And then you'll notice in the pattern, even in the Automizer, my method of doing things is to keep a version of the graphic that never changes. So I like to have 2 versions of my graphic, make one of them really tiny, and I put it up here just for reference. And then I never touch it, I just turn it off. This is the one that I'll be messing with, because when you start warping your design or bending it up or anything, you always want to preserve a version of it that's just clean and comes in fresh. That's just my opinion, but it has worked for me so far, because otherwise I get frustrated if I manipulate an image and can't get back to the original. So I'll turn it off, keep it there. I'm going to make 3 copies of this prayer candle. So I'm going to duplicate the layer, duplicate the layer again. That's 3 copies. Before I do anything to them, I'm going to select all 3 by selecting the top one, hold down shift, select the bottom one, and I'm going to link them all. The reason why I'm doing that, because if I move one, I need them all to move together. All right. The very top one, I'm going to remove the background. The middle one, I'll remove the background. And then this final one, I'm going to leave it on for right now, just to show you that you can leave the background on, or you can totally clean the background up, and it can be a transparent PNG product mockup. All right, now for the top layer, and I'll show you this in a moment. I'm gonna turn it off for now. I'm gonna put my candle image on here, because this candle is supposed to be like a 2x8, so it really should be larger, like as far as a little bit taller than our graphic, but I want to see more of the candle. So I'm going to decrease the size of my graphic just so I can see the edge of my candle here. And you do have a couple of options. I could leave the sides as is because the cylinder really does show like that. But I'm going to use my pen tool here. And I'm going to tap on that edge, create a little curve right here. Bring that curve back up, tap on the edge here. And I'm going to come up a little bit higher, but still follow the contours of this curve down at the bottom here. That was a little off. There we go. Now what that is creating a shape here. I am going to create a folder right now, or create a group. And on that group, I want to keep my shape that I just created here. I want to keep those nodes. So if I make it a selection, it turns into the marching ants. If I go to the layer mask, and instead of a layer mask, I do a vector mask and I choose current path, it just made a gray layer mask instead of a black and white one. That means I can always go into this as long as I'm on my pen tool or my direct select, which is this little white arrow, and I can go into these nodes and I can change them. So let's say the top one's here. I want to pull that down and I want my graphic inside of that folder. You see what it just did? It clipped it inside of what I created for this layer mask here. But my layer mask could be cleaned up a little bit, right? So I can go to this vector layer mask and I can change it anytime. That's the beauty of the vectors. So I can come to this little middle node here and say, hey, I could expect that you'd be a little smoother there. And I might even delete that path delete that node right there. So let me go delete the anchor point, get rid of that one, boom. And now this makes me feel like this is actually really on the glass, going by the curve. I can change that. But I'm not eating away my image at all. Right, I'm gonna come down here to the bottom because I'm on the direct select tool, which is the white arrow. There's a black arrow, that's the regular selection tool. The white arrow is a direct selection, meaning I can go just to these individual nodes and I can do my thing. Yeah, this is not, it is, I will say it's not a science. It is math. Like it's mathematically working. That's what vectors do. Vectors work on math. But it's just a matter of you getting comfortable with the pen tool and making it work there. And to me, that looks better than when it tries to stretch it and make it look like it's on the cylinder, and it just distorts the image so much, distorts the words, and I don't like it. And let's say, for instance, you want this label to be a little bit longer here, because most of the time it goes all the way to the bottom. I can select, see, I'm going to take my arrow and select just those bottom nodes, all of them, and I can pull every last one of them down all together. Look at that. So that's what I wanted to show you all for mock-up for that. Now, this is not technically mocked up. This is literally an image that's sitting on top of the existing candle, but I feel like I don't see my glossiness through the label. The light isn't hitting it the same way. So I'm going to take the third copy that I made up top here, change the blend mode to linear burn, and see how I'm getting some of those highlights and that glossiness on top of my label here. Are you talking about awesome? Now I told you I was going to get y'all into this. Like y'all said y'all wanted to learn these advanced methods. I promise you I have more to teach than I have time. So I will always have something to give every single day. All right, so now what I'm gonna do for this linear burn is just turn the opacity down because it's a little intense, but I do like it's giving me my little candle, you know, my little glossy glare. I like that. And then you can also take your levels if you want to and create some levels that create a clipping mask just for this top layer here. And if you wanted to play with the extremes of the shadows or the highlights, you can absolutely do that and get a better desired result for yourself. So that's turning on and off the levels, that's turning on and off that top layer. And believe it or not, that little top layer, especially when you have like fabrics and clothing and that sort of thing, and they have like texture to it, it absolutely makes a difference. And because we have these linked, remember we linked them in the beginning. If I move one, it's going to move the second and the third candle as well. So if I turn the back one off, this one right here, I'm going to turn it on. And turn on just the white background here so you can see what's going on here. And you notice that as the layers build, see how now it just looks like a more dynamic product mock-up? And then I can remove the background from this one. And now with all three of those layers, I can turn this background off. So now you see the transparency. This is a mock-up. This is a mock-up that I would use on my website, a mock-up that I would use to put into AI to tell it that, hey, create my photo scene like we've been doing. This is what I would do. I'm glad that you like it, Jennifer. I'm super excited that this is helpful to y'all. Now, we're going to do something else that's a little difficult. So that's done. That's the candle, y'all. That's it. It's done. It's right here. Boom, turn it off. Now I'm going to do tissue bag. Now the tissue bag, oh no, we got it at an angle. What we going to do? Now here's the beautiful thing, the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing here. Even with the candle, this is now a mock-up to where, you know how in Canva, you got to resize stuff and get it back into a frame and all that stuff. All you have to do, this is a smart object now. I can close all of this up and never, ever, ever touch it again. All you have to do is go to your 2x6 candle. And if you wanted to rebuild the design there, you could rebuild the design straight up here, replace these elements. Here, I'll show you better than I can tell you. Why not? Why not? You do this for anything. Let's go to what y'all want to see. We can go to one of these old, we can go tried and true red grass. Sure can. And we go foreground, background, and make a candle for her for graduation. Like it don't stop, y'all. Let me see, foreground, background, boom. Allow me. Oh, I'm on the pen tool. That's why I'm like, what am I doing? Nothing, because I wasn't on the selection tool. I wasn't on the move tool. All right, so boom. That. And then her text was different. So you can rebuild the design or you can just go into those individual elements. I'm telling y'all, the way that I design these things is so that they're all interchangeable. That's her text. Why her text is different. Her text has a graduation scripture, right? It's going to be different than the memorial text. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Boom. Now I can add a little glow to the background of that. I can change the background here to the background that's appropriate from this design. Boom. Drag and drop that. Does it make sense how the Automizer kind of works now? It works in terms of helping you use the same elements, create a professional looking design, but not bog down your brain. All right, so outer glow here, I would choose that because I've got this dark background, dark text. So I can choose an outer glow or I can make my text white and, you know, choose a drop shadow, that sort of thing. All right, so this is just showing you how to make it do what it do over here. And all of a sudden I can read the text now. Okay, all right. I'm not saving any of that because my candle was meant to be for this project, so that's that. So now that just lets you see that the mock-up itself can change based on the design. And it's automatic because it's a smart object. All right, let's go with the tissue pack. And let me go ahead and save this work. All right, so for the tissue pack, now that I've shown you how to create the canvas size, and that is just basically foreground and background. Now, go ahead and update all modified content because we've already updated those. All right, let's go ahead and I've already created, yes, I already created tissue label. It's 2.2 by 2.8, and all it is foreground, background. That's it. So 2.2 by 2 by 8, foreground, background, that's exactly what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. It's gonna ask me to update all modified content. Just so you can see that it does do that. Now, let's create it from scratch just so you can have that experience. I've already created the label there. I'm gonna close it out. Might as well go ahead and update these too. All right, so it was 2.2 by 2.8. Usually when you're designing your printable files, if you're doing them like I do, if it's printable, I put the measurements first so I know it's a printable. This also helps me. Sometimes people will send me things at different scales and I'll know like, hey, if you send me something and it's 40 inches tall, but I know it's supposed to be for a 3-inch Pringles can, then I know something is off. That happens all the time in Canva. I cannot stand it. Most of the time in Photoshop, as long as you design it the same pixels per inch and you tell it exactly what inches it's going to be, it will come in the same every single time like it's supposed to. But just to be safe, we'll do file new. We're going to make a new file. The width is going to be 2.2 inches and the height will be 2.8. And I keep my resolution at 150, RGB and transparent. And then this is the tissue. I think I did tissue, pack, then mini. And of course, in front of it, I'm going to put the size. So it is 2.2 x 2.8 space. That's also what I save this file size as. And if you do it one time, copy and paste, you don't have to worry about mistakenly naming something different than what you've already created before. So it's just creating a system of consistency. Again, this time I'm going to design it from our 355 folder for my assets folder. And it's just as simple as foreground, background. Foreground, boom. Background, there we go. And then for this, I'm always going to bring this image down just a little bit from the edges because I like to keep a little bleed area around my images where text and faces and important things do not get cut off. If you want to make sure everything's centered, do Control A, which selects the entire artboard. Then select the foreground, hold down Shift, select the background, or however many layers you have there. And just make sure it's centered. See how it adjusted it just a little bit to make sure it's centered? So I'm going to save that as a PSB. It's done. Now I'm going to place it or drag and drop it. All right, and That's my tissue pack. Drag and drop it. Now it is editable, but as a smart object. So that's how this works. All right, and again, like I said, I keep a mini one at the top, duplicate it. Then I create one about the scale of the product here. And I'm looking at one side of it, just making sure if it meets one side, I can manipulate it to meet the other side. I'm gonna bring my reference, my little tiny one, up to the top layer and then turn it off. Let's go ahead and group everything that's gonna be our mock-up. Create 2 more versions of this tissue pack. So duplicate the layer. You know what, you could also remove the background first, which is probably smarter. Where did my, oh, it's up here. All right, remove the background, and then you can duplicate it. And then if I want the background back, all I have to do is disable the layer mask and I get the background back. So let's create 3 of these. Select all 3 and link them so they do not move independently, they all move together. All right, and then for the one in the middle, I'm gonna group this, bring my image down into this group, and then I'm gonna take the layer mask and bring it to the entire group. So whatever I have hanging off will clip. So let's say I have the image kind of hanging off the side a little bit there. It'll clip whatever is in this folder, including multiple images if I put multiple images in the folder. All right, now the top layer needs to be, I like it to be that linear burn. And see how automatically it makes it look like this is that nice printed plastic, that clear cellophane style plastic, just because the linear burn is giving it the highlights and the deep shadows that it needs. All right, so of course, linear burn is a little intense, so I'm gonna bring down the opacity a bit there. Now this one, because it's a square, I have the option to do a couple of different ways of distorting or transforming this image here. The easiest way is to go to edit, go to transform, and then just go to distort. The reason why I already have it about the height that I want it here is because now all I have to do is take this little corner here, and I'm just being careful to make sure I'm about the same distance here. Just like if you was placing this sticker on here, you wouldn't be perfect, but you're gonna do your best to get it aligned. And so I am pretending like I'm placing the sticker here. And I want to give the impression that this does not wrap all the way around. So I'm leaving a little white edge around there so they know this is just a sticker on the front. Okay, you're not getting nothing printed all the way around. And that is how I mock it up. Now, like I said, for Canva, this is really difficult because you have to go in every single time you mock up something, and you have to warp and rewarp every single time you mock up the image. Now that it is a smart object inside of Photoshop, all I have to do is double click. Like I said, I close this on up. I don't even mess with this. I don't mess with this folder at all. I just double click on this, change the design. And once I change that design, it will automatically change the mockup. Is this making a little sense? Oh, do the save dance. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Coach Nancy. Appreciate that. All right. And I want to show you all the puppet warp, which the puppet warp is one of the most difficult ones to do. I'll tell you what. I did puppet warp on, I believe, the gatefold mockup or the trifold mockup. One of those. So I'll do that as a bonus just to show you. It's already done, but I'll show you that because I feel like that's another tool to understand when you're doing mockups. And then also, let me show you the tool. I'm going to duplicate this one here. I want to show you another tool to do mockups here. And I'm gonna turn off this layer mask. So you know we have this straight one here. You can take any layer and we can go to warp it. So there's a transform and there's a warp. Okay. And instead of a custom warp, you can tell that you want to do cylinder. This is the one I was telling you. See how it distorts my text? It just doesn't make me happy. But it does give you like a cylindrical ideal, like if this was like a soda can or something, but I just have to be honest with you. I don't like it. It works when it works, but look how it's like, look at my text. So it's warping it, but look at my text. I can't even read it. Ew. So that's why for this one, I choose this method. Leave it blocky, leave it square, and then just do your layer mask. Because something like this does not need to wrap all the way around. So I'm going to enable the vector mask. It maintains the appearance is my thing. So I showed you the cylindrical wrap. Every time I use it, it looks odd. And there are ways to use it where it does look more professional, but then you have to use very, very high resolution images. And for mockups, that's just not feasible to do. So not when you have 205, as a matter of fact, mockups inside of something like the Automizer. It's just not worth using that feature. All right, so I did want to show you all that method, even though I don't like it, but I wanted to show that to you. Showed you all the distort there. And this one for the urn, literally, I'm just going to duplicate. Oh, let me remove the background first. Now, I will say this, since I'm also giving you advice on how to present things as far as mockups, don't make it look like you're going to print all over this urn if you're not really going to do that. And I'm telling you, more than likely, you're not going to do that because it is not just cylindrical, but it is also tapered. When you have things that are tapered and cylindrical, it is very difficult to wrap a design around them without getting creases or basically having overlaps and issues with laying your graphics. Has anybody ever attempted to put like a sticker graphic on something like a ball, like a soccer ball, football, even something like these vases, right? You put it on there, and because it tapers somewhere, it gives you a rough time with making big graphics on there. So this is my suggestion. Yep. Chris says I'm running into it trying to do these wine glasses. Here's the thing. You have two options. One, you spend a lot of time getting good with how you design and wrap and basically create areas where you can put slits in your design, because you have to slit the design in order for something to go evenly here and then continuously evenly here. You have to split your design. Or you just don't design that big, okay? So for this one, I believe for the urn, I just put 4x6. And I'm just gonna move this on over to that layer. All right, so I have my initial image that comes in, make a copy of it. Now this time to make a copy, I didn't duplicate here. I just went alt click and drag. And I'm going to estimate what a 3x5 looks like on here. And I'm not gonna go crazy. Why? Because I am not going to be able to still have that name look like that if I wrap it all the way around big time around the bottom of this thing. It's just not going to work. So my solution to that is to actually make it small. Instead of go big or go home, just make it small, or you're going to end up paying a price. So I just usually keep that a little bit smaller there because you got that taper. Same thing here. You could just leave it flat on top of everything. You know, you could, but let's go ahead and link all three of these urns. Take the top one. Let's do a linear burn. Just decrease the opacity there. Place our graphic underneath. And it just gives it that little bit of light and makes it look more realistic. And again, like I said, I group all those. So only thing I look at when I'm getting ready to change my graphic is boom, just changing that out and that's it. So that's 3 mockups right there. And I wanted to show you one more thing. I know class is up, class is done, but I want to show you one more type of mockup because y'all know I can show you better than I can tell you. Which one was it? It was either the gatefold or trifold. Let's do the gatefold. All right, so for the gatefold, this one was a little more difficult to mock up, but I'm gonna show you pretty much from scratch. I'm just gonna turn my stuff off. I'm not gonna delete my stuff on this one though, but I'm gonna turn it off. And again, mockup is generated in AI. And I gave you all the prompts for that, I believe. All right, and these are my 2 little pieces right here I would have brought in first. Now, first thing I did for this one was I created, removed the background from everything as a group. And then I went in and created individual sections that I want to mask off. So you'll see that I created a group, masked off just the backside, masked off just the left panel, masked off just the right panel. That way, when I bring something into it, it crops it accordingly. So I'm going to show you that. Let's say, for instance, this one requires outside. So I'm going to bring the outside into this group here. Oops. I have it on auto select. Let me turn auto select off because it's going to assume the wrong things. All right, so you see that I have a layer mask that I created just for this little back section here. And what I like to do is turn on my little red lines that I create. And what those red lines do for me is help me understand where my bleed lines are, but then also help me understand when my graphic is straight. All right, I'll also turn on my guidelines here. And this is literally how I made all of these for you all. Boom. All right, so I'm gonna make the size about the size of the back of this graphic here. So I'm really looking more at the top and bottom. The red makes sense. Then for this one, I use distort. So I'm gonna go to transform and distort. And then I just pulled on this one here. I'm keeping the red visible at the bottom. And almost creating that perspective. Make sure the same amount of the red is bleeding off here. All right. Boom, hit enter. And now it fits inside of that area there. Now I can do the same thing for the front panels here, and I'll show you that quickly. I'm not going to be so meticulous with this. Let me alt click and drag a copy of it here and put this, drop this inside of this panel. You can almost get this one just by making it larger. Because this one doesn't have that much of a, of a slant to it, but it does a little bit. So I can go to edit, transform, distort, and this corner right here needs to come down just a little bit. All right, so let's say that's good enough for me. Now I'm going to take this same one that I just did, alt click and drag, bring it into this second panel, which is our left panel. Oops, you know what I did? This is supposed to be on that side. Chili Billy Gumdrop. And now with this one on the side, I need to edit, transform, distort. That's supposed to go on that side. Here we go. All right, and then her face goes on side. Well, if y'all can't tell, I've been making mock-ups and Automizer products for y'all for a long time, to the point where I'm over here making silly mistakes. It's possible. The silly mistake that I made was deleting 6 of my files by mistake, and I just could not get them back. So this is practice for me. All right, edit, transform. I'm going to distort this one. So distort works for this one. I'm going to bring that up a little bit so I can see that red. There it goes. And see, now it looks like it's kind of opening up. It looks like it's at a proper angle. And then after I get everything in place, I will turn off my red guidelines, because this helps me understand whether my stuff is in place. Now, this one here is the one where we're going to use the puppet work. So this is the inside of the program, not the outside. So I'm going to grab the inside and pull it down into this back area here. All right, now what I'm doing this one, the first thing that I do is, did not do something? Just pull down the opacity. Oh, I know, this one's in the wrong group. There it goes. I'm pulling down the opacity so I can see where these lines are in this program. So my goal is to get it about straight, but you're going to see where that's not going to happen. See how that's not going to be straight? And it's okay, just kind of get it as much as you can to the size. And I'm looking in terms of this center panel here. And then I'm going to use my distort first. So this one I'm going to use 2 things. I'm going to do distort, and then I'm going to puppet warp. So distort is just going to help me kind of get this baseline in place. But because this is flipped up off of the table surface, it actually has a curve to it. So this gives me basically a line, but see how I don't see the red at all on the center panel? That's because the mock-up itself has a slight lift to it off of the table surface. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and lock that in, and then I'm going to do a puppet warp for this one. This is one of my least favorite warps to do, but it does what it does when it does. So puppet warp here. And then what I'm going to do is put some thumbtacks down here in this corner, because I don't want these pieces moving at all, because they're about in the right place. And then I'm going to pin here and here where the red is showing. Then I'm going to pin at the very top here and the very top here, because I want that to come down. Now you can move more than one of these at a time. If you hold down shift, see how that one is blue already. Hold down shift and select this one, they both become blue. And when I move it down, oops, blue and blue, I have to select one of them. And see how when I'm moving it down, it's moving it together? So it's kind of helping me create that curve right there. Boom, and I know it's subtle, but it makes a big difference when that paper now looks curved. So that was the puppet warp. It is not my favorite one to use, but there was no other way I was going to make that design look like it was on that curved edge of that paper without doing the puppet warp. Now I can go in and bring my opacity back up. And again, I have the entire group here with the linear burn on it, just to make my paper have a little shadow so you can see those creases. Then I'll go back into my design now and turn off those red lines, save it and close it. Turn off the red lines. Save it and close it. And we have another one. So that was how that little bit more difficult mock-up was done. Okay. So that's it for tonight. What I'm going to give you all for class tonight is all the mock-ups that I made tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and drop on your class files for tonight. So that means you have, I'll give you that gatefold one because it has the printable and it also has the, so I'll put that on your file for tonight. Why not? I'll give it to you for the free 99. So for your class tonight, you'll have the candle mock-up, you'll have the gatefold mock-up, you'll have the urn mock-up, tissue pack, and the prayer candle. Okay. And I'm just gonna go ahead and update all of these. Make sure that everything looks good. And it does. So the 355 is a set, the Automizer itself is an entire set of files. Like it has to be, there's a whole video on how to download, how to extract everything, how to, like where to save the file so that it doesn't get caught up, how to install the Automizer, that automation that makes everything automatically turn into a PNG. There's a list of basically like a playlist that you want to watch for the Automizer for that. But other than that, the 355 design file itself is a single file. You just have to make sure you have your fonts installed and that you turn on this automate, where it says automate and generator plugins, turn on image assets for the 355 template. So then it will give you all of the assets that you need to build, whether you're building the Automizer, building in Canva, building motion graphics, whatever it is, you'll be able to use those elements. So there's a 355 template itself. Then there's the 355 Automizer. Yeah, and it does have several files within it, yes. And you have to keep all of those files nice and tight together. And a good resource, I think Coach Nancy's in here. She's a good resource for using the Automizer. She's awesome with designing in general. She is a beast with designing. She does a lot of party favors, treats, and things of that nature. But also, she's very well versed in the Automizer, whether it's for Mac or PC. So if you hit up Coach Nancy, she's probably, I know I encourage all the coaches to charge at least $60 per hour, like to actually sit with you and get things done on, especially on your computer. They can log in on, you can do Zoom sessions, log in, and they can help you on your computer, just like I can help you on the computer when we're in live class. So if you need that one-on-one help, I definitely would recommend Coach Nancy. Okay. All right, so that's it for tonight, my loves. I'm going to bring the price back up to the Automizer. If you haven't already purchased it tonight for $247, it's going up to $497 as soon as I get off of this live. I'll be uploading the updated final Automizer with all 205 products. So that is it. I'm not touching it no more. That's going to be the 355 version. Maybe in a month or so, maybe 2 months from now, I'll do another version of it with some more products. I do plan on doing another Automizer for business products and for event design. Okay. Is there a list of new files for 327? I think I did 327, 125, and 304. That's what I did for 320. I actually did 3 different Automizers for y'all for that. And once I do this one for 355, because I didn't release it on time like I wanted to, I asked y'all if y'all wanted it flipped to something else, but I didn't get any response. Did y'all want it flipped to anything else in particular, or do you want me to just pick? Because like I said, these are mostly memorial products. So I'm thinking, because 327 has everything up to the point of me adding these memorial products. But like for the candles, it's not necessarily a memorial product. That could be a celebration product. Okay. So I see somebody said 262. You got a mini family reunion on Thanksgiving. Chrissy, that sounds real specific. Mini family reunion on Thanksgiving. 304, 262. So what did I already do? Somebody just put a thing on there. 304, 262. All right, let me put that in my notes. 304, 262. 304, 262. Okay. 327, 125 is already done the last one, but that could still be helpful just with the new products. But I'm telling y'all, if you have them, you can create as many variations and remix templates and remix designs. Like y'all have all of that power right in your hand if you want to. But I do like that you all see the simplicity in the Automizer already being built for a template, and just makes it super easy to just run it. Just run it. All right, so I'm not gonna save that one, but I am gonna save this one as your class file. All right, my love, so that's it for tonight. I know we ran a little over class time. I hope you all appreciated the bonus session today. It actually helped me work through some things that help you all as well, especially when it comes to the Automizer and some things that you even struggle with. So keep coming to me with your problems, and I promise you, my God and my dreams will help find ways to solve them. I literally go to sleep thinking of y'all's problems, and sometimes they're nightmares and sometimes they're not. But either way, when I wake up, there's some kind of solution on the board. Okay. Okay. So let's see, y'all said school sports. That is okay. I forgot to tell y'all that there is, I don't know if somebody already grabbed the first mover seat. So unfortunately that seat is gone. It was $2,997. I decided to do a second seat at I told you I was going to go up to the regular price of $5,997. So basically $6,000 to apprentice with me for 12 weeks. And we build out your five collections, which one of them is school sports or school/sports, which is mainly heavily sports. Memorial, what customer happiness, do you have that link? Because I'm just talking, I could just bring it up here. And I'm telling you, y'all got templates for days. Now it's just time to apply them. Because if I make one more template that y'all don't actually put out there and sell your stuff, I'm telling you. Let me find my little link. Again, customer happiness will probably find it before me. It was my build a better business. Control F. Let me wrong screen. Control F. PDB. There it goes. So this, I'm only selecting only 4 people can come with me on this ride, y'all. That's it. That is all. So if it's for you, you'll know it's for you because you'll be ready to roll. As a matter of fact, we start this Saturday. And my whole point is to literally find what you 4 need, because that's it. I'm building a business from scratch for a client where we're building the web store, building the products, building the campaigns, all of that stuff. So basically you get to apprentice with me and build along with me. And then there's an hour session where you can show me your work and I will help you through whatever you're struggling with. Week 0 is we're actually doing 2 sessions this weekend. So one will be Saturday, one will be Sunday. The Saturday session is just to see where everybody's at. Do you already have your EIN? Do you already have your business, your state license if you need to for tax purposes? Do you have a URL? Do you have a your email set up? Do you have a Google My Business? All of those things. So complete that intake application right there. That'll let me know what you need. As a matter of fact, I just encourage everybody in Craft to Quit to complete the intake application, because it will show you where you are in your business, and I will look at it. Now, I'm not going to go through the application unless, of course, like, I won't call you or reach out to you unless, of course, you're doing the apprenticeship. But this does still help me understand what you need in terms of the Craft to Quit program. So fill that out. It'll let me know what kind of equipment you have access to, what your strengths are as far as what programs you like or have access to. What do you struggle with? Is it the confidence? Is it AI? Is it Shopify? Is it time? Is it organization? This allows me to take 4 people and concentrate my efforts on helping you specifically with your goals and your needs. So I probably will not do this, but maybe once, possibly twice a year, because it takes a lot out of me, but it gives me not only the opportunity to help you, but it gives me more understanding on a deeper level, because it's a small group. So I can help you more, but I can also understand, hey, what do I need to be teaching more of? I didn't know that, my students were struggling with X, Y, or Z. So now I can make it part of our curriculum. So anyways, this helps me get some information on you, what you need in terms of getting started. And then after that, we're working on, like, every single weekend, we're going to pick a Saturday or a Sunday, depending on what the 4 of you say. Like, if y'all 4 say, hey, I'd rather do Sunday this week because holidays coming up for XYZ, then we will spend our 3 hours on that Saturday or that Sunday of choice. Now, this is intense for the 3 hours, and I want to make sure that you kind of have an idea and understanding of what we're doing. We're building. It's not for play. This is not like, just come sit, chill, and just enjoy just me ranting. Like, I expect you to work. I want you to work. I need you to work so that I have something to give you feedback for, and you get something done in 12 weeks with me that you haven't gotten done in all 12 months last year. Okay. Whatever you didn't get done last year, imagine getting that done in 12 weeks with me. So my whole goal is to make sure that we have an events and special occasions page, a business branding page, sports and school collection, graduation and memorial. Those are the only ones that I am focusing on. I'm building a business from scratch for this. As a matter of fact, I'm building it in terms of for my brother and my niece and nephew so that they can run a business. Just like I've been showing you all how a business can be run. I can remain teaching and I don't have to run a physical product business, but I know that it will work. Not it can work, it will work, because you're going to be putting forth all of the proper things in place, not just the website, but also creating your graphics, creating your campaign material, creating your emails, all of that stuff. Whatever I'm doing for this business, you all will have 100% access to what I'm creating. And this one is it's not a brick and mortar, it's a local based business. And I want you all to focus on local again. Everybody's so, ready to sell digital designs and make money online. Sometimes it's not that easy to be found unless you're willing to pay to be found. But local, people know you. People have gotten work done by you, even friends and family, and word of mouth can carry you a long way. And you do not have to have a brick and mortar store. This business will not have a brick and mortar store. It will be based on local business. It will be based on extending that into online business with the Shopify store, but primarily it will be delivered items. All right, even in a small town, you can make that happen. Backdrops, banners, all of that stuff. It's going to be full service, and I'll be showing you that process. All right, so we have 3 components: build, apply, and launch. Build, I'll be showing you exactly what I'm doing for this business and giving you all of my assets. So any images that I create, any mock-ups I create, any of the videos and things that I create for the website, you will have the exact same stuff. So you can build the exact same site as me. I don't mind. But I'm also going to be teaching you how to make sure that it's yours. The same thing that I'm doing, I'm showing you how to do for yourself. So if you want to make a local team for yours, because I'm going to make a local team for mine, because I want local clients. So if you don't have Mariana Bulldogs in your town, then you may want to choose a team and the colorways that are local to you so that you can grab that local attention. All right, so then we'll do some application together. So 1 hour will be me demonstrating, 1 hour will be us actually putting some hands on. And then I'll have an hour where you all can show me your homework, like, hey, I did this, is this correct? Or I was struggling with this, can you show me on the back end of Shopify how to add this product variation or whatever the case may be? That's how it's set up. Full apprenticeship, 12 weeks. It's intense, but we'll get more done in those 12 weeks probably than you have all year long, okay? All right, so just wanted to make sure that you all had information on that. And like I said, the $2,997 seat is gone. I made one $3,997 seat. It's supposed to be $5,997 because I'm spending so much time with a limited number of people, just 4 people. And I also forgot to tell y'all in January, you'll be able to come and do this complete branded experience where we will build in real time. And it'll be 72 hours with me in Mariana. We have a workshop here. Also, your accommodations, you get to stay in the big house with me or whatever, and we will be locked in. Ain't no going out and partying unless y'all want to go see some cows or some horses or something. We're going to be locked in, catering all, and creating. That's it. Creating for 72 hours straight. So you're more than likely, most of y'all will either come into Tallahassee Airport. Some people may want to do Panama City or Dothan, but we'll transport you from the airport to Mariana, and we'll just have a good old country time, locked in. Like I said, everything that I could do here in a small rural town where my high school, I think, had 200 people in the graduating class, if that. No, I don't think it had 200 people. I'm just letting you know, if we can make it in that environment, then you can make it anywhere. All right. So that's a bonus that I wanted to do. And even if I sold tickets to do that, those tickets would at least be $1,000, probably more. And that wouldn't include accommodations at all. Like, you wouldn't stay with me. Only my apprentices are getting a chance to stay. So that we can be real close. Like I said, locked in 72 hours. You ain't going nowhere. All right, just wanted to make sure that I gave you all that option and you knew what was up with that. Yep, that's the on-site. So I'm gonna see how many apprentices I have. Do I have the full 4 seats? That way I can have an idea of how many seats that I would have for those that would not be apprentices. And then also checking with the local hotels, because there's not a lot of hotels here, y'all. Not a lot of Airbnbs and that sort of thing. Like I said, if we can make a graphics-based business work in a very rural town and have all the resources and make you, how much y'all want to make? Tell me in the chat. How much do y'all want to make a month? How much do y'all want to make a month? What would make you feel like, okay, if I made this a month, I really feel like I'm going somewhere, I'm doing something. Tell me in the chat so we can have a goal. 10K a month. All right, that's 120,000 a year. Okay, 5K, that's 60,000. You could easily do $60,000 a year in a rural town. I know that. With the level of skills that y'all have, and y'all have equipment that I didn't even have back then. Y'all got real deal professional equipment. Y'all better stop playing with it and get paid with it. I'm telling you, most of it just because people don't know what you do and what you have. That's it. So 10K. So I'm gonna put 10K as the goal. But in order to do 10K, like, how many people know about what y'all even do? Give me an idea where, with that, what's holding you back from making the 10K? Give me that answer before we leave tonight. Because this is helping me, because I know what to do for my apprentices now. I know what the focus on. Time, Jennifer says, time, you gave me tools. I appreciate, Jennifer. I know you've been working. I know you have. And also a lot of you are working full-time jobs. I get it. Or you have full-time responsibilities, like raising people and taking care of other folks. And I get it. Lord knows I get it. Okay. If anybody overstands you, it's me. Okay. If you don't have the printer that you need, see if you can find your partner, Montaneous. See if you can find a partner in that area, if you can get the jobs, do you know how many printers, how many people with the tools do not have the mouthpiece to go get the work? Go get the work. And then figure out, hey, I need these prints. How much would you charge me if I need these bulk prints done? Or how much would you charge me to press the stuff and I get the orders? I want y'all to know this as an affiliate and as a person who's a marketer. Most people will spend up to 20 to 30% just marketing a product. I give y'all 50% for marketing my product. If you go get somebody right now to buy this Automizer, you get 50%. So sometimes the way that you can make the money is to be in the industry and be the person who knows where things need to go and who knows the people who need the thing. And some of us are so bent on like being the person that provides everything. Like I want to print it, I want to press it, I want to, go out on the side of the road and sell it out my trunk. You can absolutely do all of those things. But you also have the ability to learn from a resource that already has something established. That's what an apprenticeship is. You're learning from me. I already have something to say. I already know the ropes. You're paying for the shortcut, baby, because you don't want to be sitting here doing this for 12 more years, right? That's the idea. Take either a pay cut or pay someone to get the information that you need, period. That's what college is. That's what an apprenticeship is when you go to become an electrician. You go out there and become an electrician on your own time and dime if you want to. You're either going to be fried up somewhere or it's going to take you a long time to be a professional enough to where somebody trusts you with their electricity, right? That's just the name of the game. Pay for the professionalism, pay for the access, right? And sometimes your paying is not actually paying. Your paying is, hey, I'm gonna take 20% instead of the 80% on this deal because all I'm doing is facilitating the order. All I'm doing is getting the marketing in, getting the word out there. But in the process, I'm learning how the printer works. I'm learning how much people are willing to pay for this product. You're still putting in your dues, right? You're still paying your dues, but you've got to pay to play. We're gonna pay one way or the other, the front end or the back end. And I can't tell you how many times I done paid on the back end by not knowing something or not knowing it well enough and eating the cost. Paying, I done paid to do more jobs than I've ever wanted to admit. I took on jobs, took money and all, thought it was good money, then ended up paying myself. And that's what I call tuition, baby. Don't, I done paid the tuition. If I could pay it forward, here you go. Okay. But I'm here for y'all craft to quit. Y'all already know we're gonna spend our time. I will make sure that I pour into you as well. But I do want an opportunity to work more closely with a handful of folks that I know I'm going to be doing this work anyway to help my brother and my babies build their business. So I would love to not do it just for one person. I would love to extend that out and do that for 4 more people as well. So that's why I'm offering the apprenticeship. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, Nikki, you lost your job, so you got to get right. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. Ooh, what's that story? Lord, hold on. Let me find some. Listen, if like I said, if anybody feels y'all feel you, I might need to give y'all a message that I heard this morning. Hold on. Let me go to my history on my YouTube. When I tell y'all this thing spoke to me so loud. Which one is it? Is it this one? I don't know. This is a preacher my granny liked to listen to. Let me see. I think this is it. I don't know. This one right here. Holding it together while falling apart. I told y'all I'd be locking in with Granny. I'll send that one, and it was one more, and it was what's it about? Oh yes, this is it. This is it. This is the one. This is it. Now the wife, a member of the company of prophets, cried to Elisha, your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that your servant feared the Lord. But a creditor has come to take my 2 children as slaves. And she was afraid because she didn't have any resources. Husband died, she's a widower, and she has these 2 kids that they're going to come take away. And because of her debt, take them into basically slavery. And God says, what do you got and what you need? Yeah. Y'all feel, what do you have and what you need? Look, I'm over here in need of paying these bills. I need to provide for these kids. I need to figure out how to make these ends meet, and I just don't got it. Well, God says, well, what do you have? Don't say you don't have it. That's what I even said. Oh, I just said that to y'all today. Don't tell me you don't have it. Don't tell me you can't afford it. Say, how can I afford it? Right? So God said, what you got? She has some oil. Find every empty vessel you can possibly find, fill it with oil. She was able to sell it and get out of debt. Right? I'm telling you, y'all got what it takes to pour into these vessels. Go find the empty vessels. Go find the people who need what you have. Oh my God, I am preaching to myself tonight. God, I'm telling y'all, the times get hard, and the times get harder. They do. But God has equipped us, every last one of us, with something that we can use. Number 1, to serve. Come on now, because y'all know I'm a servant leader, so I'm gonna preach serving, okay? Something to serve, and then on top of that, something to make money. God didn't give you a vision without provision. He has provided everything that we need to make and create all the wealth that we should even ever desire or imagine. There's no limitation on it. There's none. But what happens, I'm telling y'all, when we say life be lifing, that's what puts the limitations on. That's what put the blinders on. That's what makes us feel like, oh, I ain't got this, or I can't get that. Yeah. But sometimes we got to get quiet, sit with God. And tell him what we need, what we want. And then he's asking, well, what you got? What you gonna give up? What do you not even see has value right now? And I was thinking of this all myself too. Y'all, we can have this conversation. I told y'all we'll start having therapy sessions once a month or something. Because I can't even begin. I will begin. I'm gonna spill it all, because I'm tired of holding everything in. I'm tired of being the strong one that just be quiet, then do everything and don't say nothing about nobody to nobody. Baby, I'll be ready to let it go. I think y'all will understand me. We're gonna get there. But for right now, I want you to end on this productive note. I want you to end on a note that lets you understand your value, what you have to offer, and that you do have something of value today, tonight, to add. You don't have to wait until you're perfect. That's not when the world needs you, because you ain't never gonna be perfect. The world needs you now, not when you're perfect. So figure out what you can provide right now that adds value to somebody's life, that adds value to any type of product or service that someone needs. You have value right here, right now. You ain't got to wait till you get a piece of printer. You ain't got to wait till you get a piece of information. You don't have to wait till my apprenticeship. You don't have to wait for any of it. You have something right now that you can put out there, but you're not putting it out there. Just like I wasn't putting out there my apprenticeship. I wasn't putting out there my Automizer. I was not putting products out there that I should have and could have been doing to help others. And not only am I not helping others by doing that, I'm not helping myself. Okay. I'm going to find those empty vessels, and I'm going to fill them, every last one of them, until there's not one empty vessel left to fill. And that's how I know that my job is done. Jennifer, you want to say something? Go ahead before we close this out. What you got, Jennifer? Tell me something good. Oh, not now. Listen, we'll do it. Oh, you talking about for the therapy session? All right, we'll make sure that's closed. We'll make sure that one ain't on YouTube. Okay. I can see it right now. Oh, we're gonna have to get some cozy robes and some slippers and a little tea, or maybe even something stronger, whatever y'all like. Look. Because for me, I'm good on just talking, just being around good folks. It make me a little giddy, but we can do it. All right, we'll do. Let's once a month. Let's have our therapy session. Close doors, craft to quit, and we just let it all hang. All right. I'm gonna tell you, you even got to wear your bra at night. Look, just keep them covered up, and then we good. That's how comfortable I want y'all to be. All right, I love you. I really do. I truly do, and I appreciate you dearly. Y'all get some rest tonight. We'll resume class on Thursday. Granny is in the hospital right now. I did have to take her to the emergency room. I'm sitting up there for about 3 days. I got a break today, and I'm going back tomorrow. So I'm just letting y'all know. I love y'all, and I appreciate all the grace that you extend to me, and I will make sure that I give it back to y'all tenfold in whatever I can. Okay. But just let you know what's going on. We should be getting her home real soon in the next couple of days or so, okay? Yep, granny first. Like, look, family first, God first, then family. Then we got to start honing these gifts, y'all. Okay. All right, we'll talk about it in that session. All right, I love y'all. Appreciate you dearly. And until next time, bye. Look, Chrissy talking about tits to the ground. I didn't need to see that before I logged off. Bye, y'all.